footbridge. Here we go. 30.
He's inside the 20. He's taking it home.
He's going to go to the house. Touchdown. Fires and is caught. Throws. Catch is made. Throws. Oh, what a grab. Tebow. Oh, what a catch. He's got it. Touchdown, Denver. Touchdown, Steelers. Touchdown.
Wow, that was big.
Big play. Are you kidding?
Stop on Wild Card Weekend. Denver, Colorado getting set now for the Steelers and the Broncos. And remember, you can get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile only from Verizon. The home teams have won on all 3 occasions leading up to this one. Can the Broncos, with a 3-game losing streak, 8-8 on the year, but the AFC West champions, can today they spring the upset on the 12-4 Pittsburgh Steelers, last year's AFC champions? Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Super Bowl 21 MVP Phil Simms. We're here in Denver. We're getting set for what should be a most exciting game. And partner, your thoughts before kickoff here.
Well, you know, Jim, a couple things. We were with the Broncos on Friday. They've lost 3 in a row, and it was as elusive as we've seen them in the 4 weeks that we have covered them. I think they finally realized, wow, we've made it. We're in the playoffs. The pressure is over. We found it with the players the same way. And in the Pittsburgh Steelers, all the injuries, the adversity. We talked to Mike Tomlin last night. What did he say? A usual week for the Steelers. We know how to deal with injuries. We just march on.
Of course, they're without Mendenhall, they're without Pouncey. Clark will be on the sideline today as well. But the big question right now is Ben Roethlisberger and that ankle. You've been watching him in warm-ups. What have you seen so far?
I thought he was extremely careful during warm-ups. Twisting on that left ankle is a big deal. I've watched him since he's been back and played with that injury. He's been inaccurate throwing the football. Can't move around as well. And when he can't move around as well, that means, Jim, he's going to take a few more chances throwing the football because he can't escape the trouble. So it's something to watch very closely. All
right, for the Broncos, the Denver offense has been so dismal here in the last few weeks. The last 19 drives, they have not scored a touchdown. How can they fix it here today?
Well, I know this. Tim Tebow took almost all the practice reps we watched on Friday. His confidence, I thought, was pretty sky high. We talked to him that afternoon. John Fox knows that he's down. Let him practice all week, get his confidence back. They'll play, I think, the same way they always play, Jim. They're looking to make a big play in the passing game. That can be the difference in today's game.
All right, so the Steelers and Broncos all set to get it started here in the Mile High City, and it's coming your way next here on CBS.
In the endless war between the vampires and the Lycans, a new enemy arose. Humans. This is a new war.
Your kind will never be as powerful as us.
You don't know me very well.
They've created something twice the size of any Lycan I've ever seen.
This ends now.
Underworld Awakening in IMAX 3D, rated R.
You never told me Autotrader.com had new cars. I'd love a new 2012. These are sweet, but what kind of deal can I get? Okay, just special offers.
Now compare brand new cars from local dealers and special offers.
That one.
So you can find the one new car your head and heart can agree on.
Whoa.
Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Storm passed through yesterday. It's 40 at kickoff, getting set now for the Steelers and the Broncos. We'll see Pittsburgh's offense on the field first as Denver won the toss, as is customary. John Fox deferring. And again, your final thought here before we get it started.
Well, I think it's just the start of the game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the road, even though there are a lot of Steeler fans here. Be conservative. Don't let the crowd and the Broncos get emotionally into the game too early.
All right, so Roethlisberger, we'll get a quick look at him right off the top. Well, he looked like the quarterback you saw last week against Cleveland, the quarterback who had to miss the game the week before that against St. Louis. And you talked to him at length last night, quarterback to quarterback, about all the complications that come when you have a left ankle injury, right-handed thrower. We're going to get into that during the game. Prater to kick to Antonio Brown. Prater's had only 3 kicks returned at home this year. Here in altitude, yet another touchback. In fact, it hits the crossbar and bounds all the way out. Stop right there at the 20. Stop right there. Okay, we'll start it at the 20. That's how you get a touchback in the NFL. Here comes Ben, 4,000-yard season, second time in his career. He's never lost a road playoff game, but he only had 1 year where he had to go on the road, and that was back in the 05 season, and he won here in the AFC Championship game, his second year on the way to beating Seattle in the Super Bowl. There's Legursky for Pouncey. Watch that today because Legursky's not 100%, and Redmond for Mendenhall. Second career start, Mendenhall season over, torn ACL. This Denver defense put up a big performance last week. They'll need another one today as they go with Redmond fighting for 2 yards, running into the arms of Joe Mays. They gave up only a touchdown last week to the Chiefs till Kansas City beat them 7-3. Here's their line up front. Dumerville, he can certainly harass the quarterback, and they hope to get on Roethlisberger early. Same goes for Von Miller, the rookie Pro Bowler. And opposite the Hall of Famer Champ Bailey, you got Andre Goodman, who's had another very solid season and who has 2 career interceptions of Roethlisberger. The second down and 8. And they go 5 wides. Roethlisberger launches it long down the sideline and was looking for Wallace. But Champ Bailey wasn't going to let him out of his sight.
Well, Jim, we've talked so much about Ben Roethlisberger already. Let's watch the difference. Back in week 8, the plant-set foot turns up on the left, gets through the throw. Then last week, look how you can see there's less movement with his body. Very careful about putting weight or torque in his left ankle when he throws the football.
It's a 3rd and 8. Steelers from the 22. Denver defense moves around Miller and Dumerville to the opposite sides. Ship them around. We've got a flag down. And Ron Winter is today's referee.
Encroachment. Defense. Nose tackle moved into the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's number 98, Unrein. Don't forget, when you jump into that neutral zone, if an offensive player moves, that's going to go against the defense. That's a good call. And that call, that offsides or neutral zone infraction, will change the play call for the Steelers in a situation like this.
So it's a 3rd and 3, and he's still going to go gun with Redmond by his side. Comes a blitz. Man is open. It's caught by Miller, and he's got the first down. Bounced out by Quentin Carter at the 35, a gain of 8.
Tried to blitz him inside. That's where they want to blitz. Look at it. Here it comes. Good pickup by the Steelers. And boy, Ben Roethlisberger got through it, got up on his left foot, and threw a strike. And you talked about it, Jim, and you know, I think that, of course, I did play quarterback in the NFL. Talking to him last night, all the problems that I had once when I had it, he said the same things. Yes, it affects my arm. It does get fatigued.
First down at the 35. Straight drop. Toss. Open. Miller inside the 40 and down at the 33. He was left alone. Roethlisberger was knocked down after the throw. The completion good for 33.
Heath Miller coming across the formation from the left. Here he goes across to the right. It's a zone defense. Nobody follows him down the field. The speed of the outside receivers kept the safety in the corners where nobody could come inside and give them any help.
It was Robert Ayers who pounded him into the turf.
Well, but one quarterback in this league that can take some hits and not affect how he plays, It's Ben Roethlisberger.
2 straight pass plays to Miller. Sets up the Steelers at the 32, and it's Redmond holding on to it with 2 hands. He fumbled his last 2 touches against Cleveland last week and been pounded about that all week, about holding on to the football. Here's Roethlisberger in his career postseason. For those quarterbacks with at least 10 postseason wins, he's got the greatest win percentage in NFL history with that 10-3 mark. He's had 5 opening drive touchdown passes this year. They're an excellent team right at the start. 6 overall touchdowns, first drive scores by the Steelers this year. And Mike Tomlin shaking his head as they reset, remark at the 29. Tomlin taking the Steelers to the Super Bowl 2 of his first 4 years. Second down and 7. Backpedaling and throwing over the head of Antonio Brown with Goodman guarding. Looked like Brown was open.
Yeah, he was, and I think we've seen it a couple throws, even a long throw down the field when he completed to Heath Miller. He's just not 100%. There's no question. So, but the good thing is he's had some experience on how to deal with it, and you make those adjustments, especially when you're talking about throwing the football down the field.
7. Quick toss. Wallace. Can he break free? No. He is swarmed under. First to hit him was Chris Harris, and the Steelers will have to bring out Sweesom for a field goal try.
Well, this is one thing the Broncos know. When a wide receiver goes across the field in formation to make it 3, they say it is going to be a screen. They're all over it. Look how aggressive they are coming towards the football. Good scouting report, good execution by the Broncos defense.
Sweesom in his career postseason is only 1 out of 5 on attempts outside of 40 yards. This is 45. Papanos on the hold, and the kick by Sweesom is good. Opening drive field goal set up by a 33-yard pass play to Miller. And the Steelers produce points early. 8-play drive for Pittsburgh and a 45-yard field goal by Sweesom. And Roethlisberger. What did you think right out of the top?
Well, it's a great start for him, Jim. Get your confidence going, throwing in these kind of situations, dealing with that ankle.
That's Willis. 9 yards deep, thought about it, and takes a knee. So Tim Tebow comes onto the field. Right now carrying a 3-game losing streak. First time ever in his decorated career he's lost 3 consecutive games. Sets a Denver quarterback rush record by a mile this year. But again, in recent weeks, it's been a real struggle. Got to change at right guard with Chris Cooper out for the season with that leg injury last week. Russ Hochstein is the right guard, and there's McGahee, who had his 4th 1,000-yard rushing season of his career. He's the only Bronco, by the way, in uniform today who's ever scored a touchdown in a postseason game. They come out with 3 wides and shotgun formation, and Tebow keeps on the first snap for Denver and manages only a yard. William Gay is there. Woodley also. And that defense of Pittsburgh is the #1 defense yet again. Dick LeBeau does it again. He's got Brett Kiesel, who comes from this Rocky Mountain area. And Woodley and Harrison, they have not had that many games this year where they've both been on the field at the same time. Last full game they played together was October 2nd down at Houston. And Ryan Monday in for Ryan Clark. You saw the story on the NFL today. Blood disorder for Ryan Clark. And they're going to keep him on the sideline today. A second down and 9. And the ball's out. Fallen on by J.D. Walton. Polamalu came in there and stripped it from McGahee.
Jim, you're right. Troy Polamalu, he will guess, but his timing, 43. Watch, it comes across the formation, finds a little gap, and gets that hit along with Monday. How about that? Both safeties that close to the line of scrimmage. Willis McGahee Not much choice. Time he gets the football, gets hit by both safeties.
Boy, I tell you, that ball came flying out, and the center, J.D. Walton, second-year man from Baylor, able to recover. So now Tebow pressed on 3rd and 7. Pocket sealed, steps up, and throws it wide of Eddie Royal. 3 and out for the Broncos.
Well, the one thing when you watch the Broncos play, Tim Tebow is going to get the time to throw the football. This offensive line, they are excellent protecting. Good job of stepping up. Coverage pretty tight outside. Be careful with the football early. Pretty good throwaway by Tim Tebow.
And that's now 20 consecutive drives for Denver without a touchdown. They've turned it over 6 times during those 20 possessions and managed only a field goal. So Britton Colquitt, son of a former Steeler punter, Craig Colquitt, sends it 47 yards down the field. Back to Pittsburgh with a little leftover snow from a mild winter storm that made its way through here yesterday. Aerial coverage of the game provided by MetLife. Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh from their own 30. Going again. And a hookup with Wallace, who had 3 or 4 yards off of Goodman. Picks up 17.
Well, that's an excellent route by Mike Wallace to the outside. You're worried about his speed, and this is we saw this last week on the other side. It was Dwayne Bowe doing it against Champ Bailey. So the Steelers got some information from that Kansas City offense. You worry about him going down the field. That's what the Denver Broncos defense said. He's going to go deep or deep across. That time he ran a beautiful route.
They've got 3 tight ends, 2 of them, in fact, lined up in the backfield. Deep back is Redmond on 1st down, and Isaac, the second-year back out of Bowie State, is able to take it for a couple. That first series, Roethlisberger was throwing it with a lot of zip.
Well, he did down the field. Probably had out and up the first play of the game, but the throw we just saw him make to Mike Wallace, Jim, that was the best. I'll say this now: the Steelers think the corners for the Broncos study a lot of tape. They know some of our tendencies. They're going to try to break them. That's why you saw an out and up the very first throw of the game.
Ben's already thrown for 60 yards. He's got a 2nd down and 8. And again, the quick toss. It's Antonio Brown. And again, Harris over there manning that side. Puts a stop to it after 5 yards.
Well, that's it. You see an unusual formation, 4 guys together. The first thing I think when I watch the Steelers, that's got to be a screen to either Mike Wallace or Antonio Brown. And of course, the Denver Broncos know that. The Broncos on defense. It didn't work the first time they blitzed. They want to push it up the middle against Ben Roethlisberger because he can't move around as well.
Again, they switch around sides for Miller and Dumerville on that defensive lineup for Denver. 3rd down and 3. Pittsburgh on the Broncos side of the field. Flings it and incomplete. Jericho Cotchery was the intended target.
Hey, something they do very well. Coming from your left side, here comes Jericho Cotchery. Nobody covering him. And then on the outside, you got Marcus Gilbert against Elvis Dumerville, who a couple years ago, Jim, got a lot of sacks from the left side of the defense.
That's a rare drop by Cotchery, and it would have been easily a 1st down and more. Eddie Royal, fair catch at the 11. Taking the punt of Kapanos, which traveled 35 yards. Tebow and the Broncos did not manage a 1st down. The first time they had it, we'll see possession 2 in a moment. For defense, Jason Worlds has replaced him, and Casey Hampton, they say he tweaked his knee, so he's sidelined at the moment. Steve McClendon takes over at the nose.
3-4. 51. 980.
1st down from the 11. And McGahee, boy, are they getting in on these backs so rapidly. This time it's Lawrence Timmons knocking it back 2 yards.
They're so good up front, the defensive lineman, that at 94, Timmons, you could see that time that Virgil Green, the tight end, who's the fullback, not fast enough to get there. And Lawrence Timmons, his strength, blitzing the quarterback, and giving him an open lane to run. This guy, that's what he can do.
This is the #1 rush offense in the NFL. But the first couple of handles have looked a little shaky, including a fumble. 2nd and 12. Tebow somehow able to get out of it, fires it down the field, and he had a man there who was a step behind Polamalu, who was playing the pick. Dante Rosario was the receiver.
Good job by Tim Tebow getting away from the rush, and that's what he does well. Boy, James Ferrier closing quick, and Troy Polamalu kind of loses sight, misjudges the football, and that's close.
That's the kind of long game breaker you said that Denver really needed to get one early.
Nothing changed with John Fox after the game against Kansas City. He goes, all we need to do, we ran it well, we just need to hit that big pass.
Now on 3rd down and 12. Eric Decker in traffic fighting for the first, and they'll come up about 3 yards short.
Nice safe play. It really was. That's what you want to do coming out of the end zone. My question is, why not do that play on 1st down? Get the wide receivers involved in the game faster. Give Tim Tebow some confidence. You know, I know it's a screen pass, Jim, but man, you know, you go, well, I completed one. That feels good.
They called quick for the 2nd time. Some serious hang time. Antonio Brown. He had a Bronco right on top of him. Raphael Bush still held on. 49-yard punt by the Broncos. Yesterday at Loveland Ski Area, Bronco fans taking to the mountains after 7 to 9 inches of snow. Much needed around these parts from Colorado to Utah.
Hey, lefty, lefty! Lefty, lefty! 165!
On 1st down, Ben, for the 3rd time, he finds Miller, and he picks up 7. Ridden out by Von Miller.
Good. It's a blitz by the Broncos defense. That's why Ben Roethlisberger changed the play, and he knows he has one-on-one coverage to the outside. Good job of getting through the football, getting on top of that left foot. And like I said, when you're dealing with an injury, there's uncertainty, but this has to give him confidence how he's throwing the football early.
3 pass plays to Miller for 48 yards. Denver has 10 total. Redmond picks up the first. And finally, DJ Williams and Joe Mays tackle him at the 46-6. Picked up on that one. And you can get real-time scores, live video, and breaking news on your phone. To get the free app, simply call ** CBS from your mobile device or go to cbssports.com/mobile.
A lot to go on with the Steelers offense. The quarterback hobbled. You know you only basically have one running back, so you got to pace Isaac Redmond. Last week he said to us, Jim, yeah, I got a little tired. You get tired. That might be one of the reasons why he fumbled twice.
Gained 92 yards in that game against Cleveland. Roethlisberger down the sideline again and looking for Wallace. It's the 2nd time he's tried that play, but Champ Bailey, as usual, airtight.
Well, the one thing you always look for it in these older players, top of the screen, and Champ Bailey, I don't know what training regimen he was under this past offseason, but it worked. He can do it. And Von Miller, you said it, Jim, switching sides, trying to help him because that cast on that right hand, it's no doubt when you watch him play, it affects him greatly. How can you be fast when you got a big cast on your hand and you're trying to run with it? That would be difficult for anybody.
A 2nd down and 10. And Redmond stutter step move, and it's effective as Redmond spins for about 9.5. And it was Bruton who brought him down kind of, again, half-yard shy of the first. Running behind Heath Miller that time for the 9.
Yeah, good job. They like this little counter play. Heath Miller does a good job. Ramon falls to the right guard. And when you talk about Isaac Redmond, all the coaches, they talk to me. Boy, he's tough. They like his talent. And what did he say to us? I'm a one move, take it to the defense kind of guy.
I'm not going down with the first hit. That's Redmond. He may get it right here on 3.5 yards. It is Redmond, and he falls, it looks like right on the line that he needed. Broderick Bunkley on the tackle. And again, Redmond just his second career start, and getting the start because Richard Mendenhall last week against Cleveland, season ending right there, torn ACL. And everybody's been talking about Roethlisberger, rightfully so, but what a tremendous loss. You said to me this week you thought Mendenhall was one of the top 10 backs in the league.
I don't even think that's a question. I threw that out there to the Denver Broncos, and they went, oh yeah, because he's got power, he has the speed and the feet to get outside anytime he wants.
So the Steelers have another first down at the 43. Redmond getting a lot of work now in this series into the pile for about 3. And you talked about how thin they are at running back. With Mendenhall season over, you got Noeldy Moore out for this game with a knee injury. They've had to bring in the likes of John Clay off the practice squad, sign another guy this week, Chad Spann. But then worst of all was just this awful tragedy for the running back coach, Kirby Wilson, this week. In a fire at home early Friday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's back in Pittsburgh in an induced coma, and very much on the minds of these Steelers here today. 2nd down and 7. Ball came out as he stretched it out about a yard shy. Emmanuel Sanders with the catch, brought down by Bush. But it's a complicated week and a heavy heart week too for the Steelers. Here's Coach Wilson, father of 5, and Coach Tomlin, who's gone to see him in the hospital, said, you know, he's probably just an hour away from leaving for the complex. He would be in usually about 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 to 4:30, showed up the complex every day. And you know, I think too, Jim, there's such uncertainty. Nobody really knows the story, what happened and how he got caught in that situation.
It's a 3rd and 1, 2 minutes to go first quarter. And Redmond easily finds a little lane and spins. He's big at this spinning move, as you watch the Steelers all season long, and it works. This goes for 13. He's running behind the rookie from Temple, Marcus Gilbert, this time.
I like this short yardage running play, Jim, and what they're going to do. Here goes David Johnson. Now go the other way. The linebackers, they're trained. Follow the fullback. Uh-oh, you get caught in a little trap block on the backside. Well-designed. Love a little misdirection on those type of plays, 3rd and short, because the defense is going to overreact to the first thing they see.
Got to change at running back. Here's John Clay. We just spoke about him. Signed off the practice squad December 22nd. Rookie from Wisconsin, who's a pounder in the words of his coach. Picks up a yard. Again, signed up just 3 days before Christmas. His first NFL carry in the game against the Rams went for a touchdown. And then last week he got 9 more handles after Mendenhall went out and they had to rotate him with Redmond. Picked up 31 yards against the Browns. Who would have thought he'd be a part of the postseason picture?
It really is. You said it. Kirby Wilson, we talked about his misfortune, but the running back situation, Mike Tomlin, Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, trying to work this so they don't fatigue somebody because they know they might need them in the 4th quarter.
2nd and 9. Hines Ward shifts out of the backfield into that slot on the left side. Faking right, going middle. He was looking for Hines, and no flag. It's Bruton on the coverage. Hines Ward, who caught his 1,000th pass last week. Just the 8th in the history of the NFL to reach 1,000.
Couple things they're trying to do. The Steelers are great. When they see you in man-to-man coverage, they like unique formations, bunch them up. That time it was 4 to the left. They had Mike Wallace to the right on a double move, but they try to create confusion. And when you get receivers together, the defensive backs have to back off of you. That just gets you off to a good start, and of course it greatens your chances of getting open.
Big moment here for this Denver defense, needing to hold them to just a field goal. Roethlisberger throws. There was contact, but there's no flag. Bush got tangled up with Antonio Brown, and we'll see Sweesum for the 2nd time here in the opening quarter.
Well, what they're trying to do, trying to go outside, a guy coming underneath, and you're right, it's incidental tripping, but that is a lot of contact. So you've seen it early. They're letting the defensive backs have a little contact. Strike zone's been established. Stay with it. He wants pass interference, but it was just incidental tripping down the field.
That's the best movement I've seen on that ankle. He went after that official. Said, wait a minute, where's the flag? 38-yard try. Sweezum needs a hook. Got it just in time. And Tomlin still wanting to know, why wasn't that interference? Sweezum good from 38. Steelers this time kept it for 12 plays, and again it ends in a field goal. Redmond doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that one. 6 first downs in this quarter for the Steelers versus none for the Broncos. 6 first downs, 6 points, while the Broncos have run only 6 plays. And that one sails a good 5 yards past the end line. Thursday on CBS, it's time to make some magic with the Big Bang Theory, and everybody's getting into the act. The Big Bang Theory new episode Thursday on America's #1 network. Final 23 seconds of the first quarter, and 10 total yards by Denver through 2 possessions. Chris Clark has come in as an extra lineman for Denver here.
Tango. Alert! 94.
Look how many people near the line of scrimmage.
And once again, they have no chance after the exchange. A loss of 2 for McGahee. This time as Polamalu is reading it right every time, as is Lawrence Timmons for the 2nd time in the backfield.
Troy Polamalu on the blitz. They're playing run all the way. Nobody back even worried about the pass for the Steeler defense.
So that means Denver ends up with 8 total yards in the quarter. 6-0 Pittsburgh after 1, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Did first quarter numbers, but it's only 6-0 Pittsburgh. NFL on CBS continues. Our executive producers Sean McManus and Harold Bryant, and Sparrow and Mike Arnold in command here on site. Jim Nance, Phil Simms for the calling of the Broncos and Steelers. And let's see if Tebow can manage to move Denver on 2nd and 12. Fires it, has the completion. Ball is out. Decker just pounded on the completion. He was walloped by Monday and Harrison. They're calling it on the field a catch for 20 yards.
It's a zone defense. James Harrison watching the quarterback. He sees the completion, goes inside, and gets the hit low on Eric Decker.
So the ball popped out, but that was once the ball hit the ground. So it's going to be a 20-yard completion and an injury timeout.
CBS tonight, 9/8 Central.
Mike Tomlin challenging the play on the field that it was a fumble. Decker limped off with a knee injury.
Pittsburgh was challenged a ruling on the field of a completed pass.
You'll see a sequence of replays. It's very close. Decker hit low by Harrison, and was the ball squirting out before the elbow hit the ground? That's the question.
Well, let's just watch it, Jim. Harrison on the hit. Is the ball moving out as it goes down and turning? Very close. You know, if you're going to judge it that tightly, I don't think they will. I think it's going to be down by contact. So you see the back of that football. It does move, but of course it is allowed to move in the process of the catch.
And by the way, there seemed to be confusion instantly on the field. The ball was, this is something that's important because you have to have evidence the ball was recovered, and Monday will pick up the ball here.
You know, the other thing is, and I don't want to, we saw James Harrison been fined many times for high hits.
And this time he comes in low.
He went down low, and that's one thing you got to worry about a little bit. Yeah, we're going to protect certain parts, but all of a sudden these defenders, we'll start, well, okay, we'll hit them below the waist, and that can be just as dangerous as we saw.
Boy, Eric Decker, who fought injuries all of last year, and he gets hit in the side of the knee right here by Harrison.
Well, there's no doubt when you see Eric Decker going to the ground, the football does turn in his hand just a little bit. The back end of the football, you could see it turn as he goes to the ground.
It's spinning.
Yes, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to rule it a catch and a fumble. Well,
it's a really significant ruling coming up here, because it's either going to be a 20-yard pass play or a takeaway, and Pittsburgh would be set up at the 39 of Denver. So Ron Winter has made his decision, and now will share it with us.
After review, the receiver did not maintain control of the ball throughout the process of completing the catch. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. Please reset the game clock at 14:56.
Well, there you go. It's ruled an incompletion.
Third down. Pittsburgh is not charged with a team timeout.
Well, we covered everything that's right. 2 feet on the ground. No time has really elapsed in there, Jim, for him to show complete control of the football. Then once he goes to the ground. It's a big play against the Broncos, but really a big deal. Eric Decker not in the game.
They took Decker to the locker room, and now it's 3rd and 12. Tebow launches the long ball for Thomas. Demaryius Thomas has the catch at the 30-yard line of Pittsburgh. The play they've been waiting for weeks. He beats Ike Taylor for 51.
Well, the coverage is very good. Here's Demaryius Thomas. Watch when he goes down the field. All the movement, and Tim Tebow doesn't like what he sees. And you can see, look, everybody's covered as you look down there. But now Tebow says this is what he loves to do. Deep down the sidelines, and the throw is perfect. Ike Taylor's right there. But that football drops straight in there. And a good job of holding on to it.
Lance Ball gets his first carry of the game. We'll give him a yard. It's interesting, Ike Taylor this week maybe got a little more attention from Coach Tomlin. He was warning his defensive backs that Denver can lull you to sleep a little bit. You get a sense of comfort. We can't afford to give up a long ball because we know they like to go deep several times in a game.
That's exactly right. And he said it, you stop them, and all of a sudden one guy gets behind you, and we're losing the football game.
Denver reporting to us that we will not see Decker again in this game with a knee injury. From the locker room, 2nd and 9. And Tebow going to the end zone, and the ball is caught by Eddie Royal. Was he in? Yes! Touchdown Broncos! There's a Steeler down, Brett Kiesel. They come back from 3rd and 12. Hit 2 big pass plays. Eddie Royal on the receiving end. First touchdown in 22 drives. Back to the early stages of the 3rd quarter at Buffalo on Christmas Eve Day.
Well, you talked about the one thing that Tim Tebow likes to do the most, and that is just throw it long. It frees you up. There's no decision to make. And that time you could see William Gay, number 22, playing the situation a little too much, and he lets the receiver, Eddie Royal, get by him, and a very good throw by Tim Tebow.
Kiesel slowly makes his way to the sideline, and the touchdown has been confirmed upstairs. Eddie Royal caught only 1 touchdown all season. With this emphasis on the running game, he had only 19 receptions. And Prater puts Denver in front 7-6. A 30-yard strike. Tebow to Royal, and just like that, Denver has taken the lead. Well, consider that the Broncos face 3rd and 12. They then go 51 yards to Demaryius Thomas, a 1-yard run by Ball, and then a 30-yard touchdown pass from Tebow to Eddie Royal. Things change so quickly. A touchdown pass against a defense that had given up 1 touchdown pass in the last 6 games. And produced by an offense that hasn't been able to put anything on the board. And Prater gets a touchback, but not with the same number of style points he got on the opening kickoff.
Let's watch Tim Tebow. He drops back. He knows he's going to throw it down the right side. Nice look to his left. He keeps the safety out of there. That's the one thing that he has been doing the last couple weeks. He knows he's going deep. Nice move by Eddie Royal. And the speed, you can see it, but make sure the safety can't get over there and help him. James Harrison on the outside. Brett Kiesel, 99. I don't know what happens, but he falls right to the ground. And of course, that'll give Tim Tebow tremendous confidence and John Fox to stay with his game plan.
John Clay begins this series as the running back. Brown shifting over to the right side. And dropped by David Johnson. Tomorrow on CBS, the news is back in morning news. Charlie Rose and Gayle King, Erica Hill on the news CBS this morning. It premieres tomorrow morning, and we wish them all the very best. Tomorrow, the CBS Morning News. Isaac Redman returns. That's 2 drops by the Steelers, one by Contry that would have gone for a first down and a whole lot more and sustained a drive. And that one by Johnson. Fake the draw. Roethlisberger, he wants a long ball of his own. Looking for Wallace, who has it at the 30 of Denver.
I didn't think Ben Roethlisberger saw it in time where he's going to get it there. Mike Wallace just going to run right down the middle. The safety split. And watch how long. Boy, Mike Wallace, you've got to touch him at the line of scrimmage. When you don't hit him, look how fast. Look at the pressure he puts on the safeties. And there's no way you're going to run with him down the field. As Dennis Allen said, the defensive coordinator, fastest group of wide receivers in the NFL.
Hold on here. Did he catch it cleanly? Did it come off the ground?
Yep. I'm listening to the crowd noise.
Denver has challenged a ruling on the field of a completed pass.
So 52 yards if it holds up. 1 yard longer than the one to Demaryius Thomas. And there is a challenge. Bruce Arians, they're on the sideline waiting for the ruling on the pass play to Wallace that measured 52 yards. Is there a little bounce off the ground here?
Ball does slip down a little. Look at the left forearm. Doesn't look like it's on the ground there. And then you see the left forearm go under. Tight call.
After review, the receiver did not have control of the ball. Therefore, it was an incomplete pass.
You take those 52 yards.
20-yard line. Denver
Take them right back and make it 3rd and 10.
Please reset the game clock to 13-14.
Well, Jim, you can add that one on. That's 3 drops by the Steeler receivers so far today. And what happened too, Mike Wallace trying to be so careful to catch it into his stomach and get his arms underneath it instead of just being natural and grabbing it like he always would. But he lets it slip through. Completion overruled.
Both teams successful on challenges in this quarter. Second quarter is usually been a disaster for Denver this year. But they have a touchdown on the board in this quarter today. And 3rd and 10, and Roethlisberger anxiously resets. And play is dead. I thought I saw a flag. Incomplete instead. Sanders was the target.
Great job. He changed the protection, and they're trying to get those rubs. You saw it. And this time, Ben Roethlisberger kind of leans back on his right foot, and it makes him overthrow the pass to Sanders.
Barely beat the play clock, but did, and it's another incompletion. Campanel's kick to Eddie Royal, the touchdown maker for the Broncos. And he has stood up at the 28 by Ryan Mundy. 62-yard punt, 10-yard run back. Tebow's reaction to the challenge being won by the Broncos, and he leads it, his side 7-6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pepsi Max, official soft drink of the NFL. And by Joyful Noise from Warner Brothers Pictures, in theaters January 13th.
And the injury bug continues to mount for Pittsburgh. Kiesel, groin injury, questionable to return. Hampton has not come back since tweaking a knee right at the start of this game.
Well, we have a totally backup defensive line when you look at it, Jim. Aaron Smith, they lost a while ago, but Kiesel, Casey Hampton, those are the three starters.
And you're looking at Cameron Hayward, their rookie first rounder out of Ohio State, taking the spot of Kiesel.
Four down.
First and 10 from the 27. And that time it's good for about 2 for McGahee. Dick LeBeau continues to bang out the hits, doesn't he?
Well, 74 years old. Of course, he came in last night to talk to us. I said, well, Coach, how about the option? Have you dealt with it? And he goes, it's a good thing about being old, Phil. I've seen it all. And he goes, yes, even when I was a player, I dealt with the option. And that was with Bobby Douglas back with the Chicago Bears. Had a tough time, taught his guys the option all week. He says, guys, don't fall asleep. The base runs where they line up like this and running at you, that's what Denver does well.
Play fake, 2nd and 7. Tebow down the field. Thomas has it in stride. Tries to get away from Taylor. Cuts back twice on him and takes Taylor with him to the ground at the 13. He beats Ike Taylor for another long one. This time 57.
Here's what you worry about. Thomas comes down, makes a little move, then takes off. So watch Ike Taylor. Everybody else hits up because they're trying to stop the run. That was some nice move that Demaryius Thomas makes. And now you're chasing. Good job of tackling before he scores the touchdown. This is what they do so well, the Denver Broncos. They have a lot of ways to throw the football down the field. And John Fox, give him credit, says we're staying with what we've done this year.
Officially goes for 58 yards, which is the longest pass play of Tebow's 2-year career. And for Thomas, that's 2 catches for 109 yards in this quarter. Denver's called a timeout here, Broncos.
Yes, Denver called. Here's what you worry about. Last week we saw the Kansas City Chiefs. They had the corners that could match up and take the pressure of covering one-on-one outside all week. Everybody has said it. All the experts said it. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers put everybody up there and commit to the run to stop it and then still cover one-on-one on the outside? Well, the answer now after 3 passes down the field is no. That's a lot of pressure no matter how good you are outside.
Pittsburgh was the only team in the league this year that did not allow a 100-yard receiver. Thomas has managed that in this quarter on 2 catches. And the Broncos are set up at the Pittsburgh 13. Tebow still has it. Tebow to the 8. That's Taylor and Mundy coming up, and it's a 4-yard run.
You know what's amazing? He completely fools the defense. James Harrison doesn't see it till he gets outside. It's still only a 5-yard gain. James Harrison says, well, he hasn't kept it yet. Here he is, still able to get out there and get involved in the play.
Four down.
147 yards in the quarter after a mere 8 in the first 15 minutes.
Always have to be alert for quarterback runs inside the 10.
2nd and 6. Tebow, here he is, taking off Phil. He's got the first down, he's got the touchdown. Tim Tebow takes it across, and the Broncos have a 2nd touchdown of the quarter. Just as you called it, Phil. Tebow, that was the play call all along, and running behind Zane Beadles and Orlando Franklin. 8 yards and a touchdown. Steelers' #1 scoring defense in the NFL. They allow only 14 a game.
Well, let's watch what happens. You spread them out, and then watch, you said it, Jim, watch Zane Beadles lead up in there. Good fake by Tebow. He just looks like he's going to throw the screen, and look at 68 leading him up through the hole. And, man, when the big guy gets all that steam going, 245 pounds, it's a fullback running the football. And how about Orlando Franklin, number 74, right tackle, getting down the field, getting a good block, too. That is excellent blocking. That's what they do best. They double team. Zane Beadles, the left guard, is an excellent puller. And when you're down there and they spread you out, you got to think quarterback run first and foremost, and then react to the pass.
It's the 7th time this season Tebow has thrown a touchdown and run for a touchdown in the same game.
Well, when we talked to Tim Tebow on Friday, you said it, Jim, and we talked about it, how relaxed the team was, that he was. And his one comment to us, he goes, gosh, I just wish they'd let me get in the game and be myself. And, of course, what he means by that, I want to throw more, I want to run more, I want to run the offense that I ran down in Florida.
He really felt in the Kansas City game that he never got in rhythm in that one.
Well, he didn't. There's no doubt about that.
He's a 6 for 22 throwing. Different story today. 14 points in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. He's trying to do it again. I don't know. I'll give the other one a 10 that bounced down to the 20. Not as many style points on this one. NFL Films. They call it the playoffs. You'll see the coldest, the dirtiest, the longest, the greatest playoff games ever. Steve Sable's crew from NFL Films will have that special for you next Saturday on CBS 2:30 Eastern Time. Congratulations to Steve. We send him best wishes. Just recently inducted into the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame last month in New York.
Broncos are doing so well, they're drowning out the Steeler fans.
It's Redmond. Again, he spins out for a gain of 3. It looked like a no-gainer, but was able to pick up a mild gain.
Oh, look at Tim. Boy, I tell you, Tebow, he's... Well, it's an emotional game, and right now the emotion, without a doubt, is on the side of the Denver Broncos.
Second and 7. Dumerville and others come crashing in. It's Ayers who got to him. And that left ankle has been re-aggravated again.
Dumerville makes him step up. Oh, man, and it's Robert Ayers who just... Max Starks gets him going backwards. Maybe Starks gets tripped by another offensive lineman, but they just run him over for the sack.
Roethlisberger stays out there. Ayers, who's lined up against his old college roommate, Ramon Foster, back in the days at Tennessee. And Roethlisberger and Pittsburgh call a timeout.
Well, you watch Ben Roethlisberger walk to the sideline. There's no doubt. You can see how much that ankle's bothering him.
That injury occurred right here in this game, week 14 against Cleveland. Played in the game at San Francisco. He told us, been talking about that a lot. He shouldn't have played in the game against the 49ers. Missed the game against St. Louis. Was back last week against Cleveland.
Well, too, you know, look at those shoes. You see he's got a yellow shoe on the right foot. That's a size 14. That white and black shoe on his left foot. The ankle that he hurt. He has a brace on his ankle. And he has a one size bigger shoe on that foot. That's a size 15.
Yeah, 15 on the left foot. He says the swelling, the doctors tell him it will not go away until April or May. The third down and 16. He's intercepted. He's intercepted by Quentin Carter, the rookie from Oklahoma. And again, Roethlisberger hit the deck.
The fact that he can't move, what happens is that he's going to take some chances throwing the football. It's a three-man rush. Watch him hug up. And as they do, Ben Roethlisberger, here he comes right into him, knows he has to throw the football before he wants to. He's a little off target, and it leads to an interception. Look at that, DJ Williams. He waited. Now Roethlisberger lets it go because he wants to protect himself. The coverage down the field, very good.
Only the third interception at home this year by the Broncos. Had not had one since Andre Goodman picked off Sanchez and the Jets and ran it back for a touchdown. This ball comes rolling back to Tebow. Finds a little opening to fire it to the end zone. Incomplete. Polamalu almost had the interception. There is a flag down. Matthew Willis was the receiver. And the flag is at the line of scrimmage.
Matthew Willis was uncovered.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 92. Then
Harrison
to the goal. First down.
James Harrison, far outside to the right. Hits him after he releases the football. Here goes the throw. And that's a good call. James Harrison had time to pull up. But look at Willis. Troy Polamalu did a great job of coming out of the middle after seeing the football thrown and breaking it up, stopping the touchdown.
The penalty spots the football at the 9. They brought in Tony Hills, a former Steeler lineman, for 3 years. And Harrison has hold of McGahee. Pickup of 1.
Well, they're bringing in extra offensive linemen, the Denver Broncos are, because, you know, John Fox kind of laughed at us and he goes, hey, Lamar Woodley, James Harrison, those are pretty big outside linebackers. I don't think I want my tight ends trying to block them all day. Good strategy by Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator. Don't get overpowered, overmatched on the edges.
2nd and goal from the 8. Empty backfield. Pass to the flat. It's Eddie Royal. And he squirms to about the 2, maybe the 3.
Boy, really well done. Eddie Royal, so valuable, I think, to this offense. Good job by Tebow. Hesitating on the throw, gets it over Timmons, but tackling Eddie Royal in the open field, that is a wonderful job by William Gay. Eddie Royal comes in motion. They give him the ball. He's the option guy a lot of times when Tebow runs the option. Good screen guy, and we've seen fast to go down the field for the long throws, too.
3rd and goal, and Lance Ball is the running back. And again, that defensive front without Hampton, without Kiesel. Can they make the stop here? Rolling out, Tebow, Polamalu coming in on him, pass thrown, and it's knocked away by William Gay. Matthew Willis appeared open for a moment, but Gay caught up to it.
You got to like what the Broncos are doing. The screen pass, we saw Tebow run for the touchdown. Obvious passing situation, no decision to make here. Let the slot guy, one-on-one coverage, have all that room to make the throw, move the quarterback. Hard to make a big mistake in a situation like that. Good job by Gay again.
It'll be a 20-yarder for Prater. What a season he's had. A pair of 59-yard field goals, 4 game winners, and now good from 20. Prater, who took over the job a couple of years back from Jason Elam. 17 points in less than 6 minutes.
Well, this is the offense that the Denver Broncos envision. let's run it, or the team, I should say, they envision. Let's play it safe and we throw it. Let's look for big plays down the field. And inside the 10, we know about the running quarterback. But John Fox, after last week, you know, I like to listen to a few things and read all the stuff that's going on every week. And everybody said, hey, the Broncos have to open it up. And I'm not saying I wouldn't have been one of those guys, but we talked to John Fox. He goes, I asked him, you going to change this week, coach? Get Tebow in the game, give him some easy throws? No. We're going to play the same style we've been playing since Tim Tebow took over at quarterback. Defense, run the ball, special teams, field position, and then when we throw it, let's make the big plays down the field.
Coach Fox, who has ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was an assistant there for 3 years. After serving 3 years as an assistant at the University of Pittsburgh, he got an interview with Tom Donahoe, a couple of interviews with Chuck Noll. But by the way, Coach Noll celebrated his 80th birthday on January the 5th. And there is young John Fox when he was with the Steelers back in the late 80s.
What did he say he learned from Chuck Noll? To keep everything on an even keel. I'm not going to say John Fox on the sideline is Chuck Noll, but he tries to keep everything on an even keel when he makes decisions about his football team.
And Prater sending another touchback bound ball through the end zone. So just to finish that, he did say, please pass along to Chuck Noll. Best wishes. He got me my start in pro football, 89, 90, and 91. And happy birthday, Coach. So Roethlisberger, he's taking a pounding again, Phil.
Well, he is, Jim. We've seen a couple really big hits. And that time Ayers just overruns the left tackle. And in that time, protected himself, caused him to throw an interception. Those are the things that worry you about Ben Roethlisberger. The fact that he can't move when somebody blitzes him, there's nothing he can do to get out of the way.
He's missed on his last 6 throws. And a flag down the line of scrimmage, and the ball's intercepted by Goodman. Goodman juggled it, made a beautiful play, and has the pick at the 35, but we'll check the flag. And they think the Broncos might have been offside.
Offside. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Elvis Dumerville, number 92, closest to us on the screen. He falls forward, gets into neutral zone. The interception happens. Andre Goodman and Ben Roethlisberger, I don't blame him. Be upset. The receiver stopped. Let the defender come right in front of him.
So 1st and 5 instead of a second pick of the quarter. And Redmond. 2 Broncos had him for no gain, but he manages to pick up 1, maybe 2. Thursday on CBS, gather the family for the new comedy Rob, starring Rob Schneider and Cheech Marin. It's premiering right after a new Big Bang Theory, only CBS. No huddle for the Steelers, and it looks like the Broncos got jumpy again.
Encroachment. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
Yeah, that's the 3rd time that defense has done that. McBean a couple of occasions.
Well, I think one of the reasons why, Jim, the crowd noise, the excitement, and all you've heard about all week, they got to get some pressure with their pass rush against Roethlisberger, because 3 straight weeks in a row, the pass rush non-existent.
McBean, who was on the Steeler roster back in 2007. First down. Wallace incomplete. Cutting across the middle, incomplete.
Well, that's a really good job. The pass rush, very disciplined. They keep everybody in front of Roethlisberger. So in other words, he wants to run, nowhere to go. Stay in your rush lanes. Don't get behind the quarterback.
So Roethlisberger misfiring on his last 7. That's the longest postseason drought of his distinguished career. Stay on the ground. Redmond. Early contact, no gain. This time it was Hunter along with Mays to make the hit.
I think what we're seeing in this game right now, the emotion for the Broncos. We're seeing Ben Roethlisberger, that ankle does not have the ability to move to make the plays that the Steelers are so used to. And maybe most importantly, haven't seen any wide receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers just run away from the coverage guys outside.
3rd and 10. And a timeout by the Broncos. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. They'll have their thoughts on the first half of this one, plus highlights of the Giants' victory over Atlanta. All coming up, Sprint halftime report. Second quarter for the Broncos this season. It's been the worst single quarter by any team in the league since back in 2000. Point differential minus 121. However, today 17-0.
Well, John Fox got on the sideline and said, hey, guy, it's still the first quarter. You know, nothing's changed. First quarter, let's go. And they believed him.
They only won this quarter, the second quarter, one time the whole season did they outscore an opponent. That was at Kansas City.
What I was interested too in seeing today, though, Jim, Chris Harris, the extra defensive back for the Broncos, Champ Bailey, Andre Goodman. That's a pretty good group of three. Could they cover the 3 wide receivers for the Steelers? It's a lot better matchup than people, I think, gave this defense credit for.
3rd down and 10. Again, more pressure. Open man is Wallace. Great contact by Carter. Wallace in the open field, you thought might make the juke and pick up the first, but he's held to 7 as the rookie puts it into the series.
Look at all the blitzers from the left. Roethlisberger can't move. Good catch by Mike Wallace. It's what you call blitz, but everybody behind is playing zone. So they saw the throw, they reacted, and a good job by Carter making a rough tackle.
And again, that Bronco defense without the services of Brian Dawkins, that neck injury has him inactive again. Papanos' punt picked up on the hop by Royal. And Royal is able to gallop across the 30, hit by Stevenson. Sylvester, 48-yard punt, 19-yard return. Well, the AFC playoff picture, the winner of this one is heading to Gillette Stadium in a matchup with the #1 seed, the New England Patriots, next Saturday night, while Houston and Baltimore are all set to tangle next Sunday. On the NFC side, Giants at Green Bay, New Orleans and San Francisco next weekend. So 5 minutes to go, first half. The Broncos go up the middle with McGahee. McGahee's had 10 career matchups against Pittsburgh. Many of those coming into double matchups each year with Baltimore. He's had 5 starts. He's never had a 100-yard performance against the Steelers. The biggest rush performance he ever had was 79 yards when he was a member of the Buffalo Bills going against Pittsburgh back in 04.
I'm trying to think when the last time the Steelers did not have a good run defense, Jim. Actually, this year you go, wow, this is a down year for their run defense. It's only eighth in the NFL.
It matched up with a #1 pass defense. #1 overall defense. Rolling out. Lobbing it down the field. Open man at the 35. It's his tight end, Daniel Fells, and they've hit another long one in this quarter.
This is a play that they put in that they couldn't wait to run. Here comes Fells. Usually the tight end goes all the way across. He comes across, breaks up the field. It's a new look, so they're not ready for it. Troy Polamalu jumps the in cut. That's what they were counting on, that he would overreact, look to cut off the receiver going across the field. You saw Fells watching Troy Polamalu and made the move up the field. That was excellent play design and tremendous execution.
And it goes for 40. Tackled by William Gay at the 25. And a whistle.
You know, Tim Tebow came into our room on Friday.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And you remember I said to him, I said, hey, when am I going to see some of these plays I've been watching in practice for the last month in the game? Because we saw this play, we see some of the flea flickers, everything. Well, today we're seeing them fight.
By the way, we were at practice on Friday. All you've been reading about all weekend is how he shared snaps with Brady Quinn in practice on Friday. Wasn't the same practice we were watching, was it?
I saw Brady Quinn take 2 snaps, which apparently is what he does every Friday afternoon. But
first and 15. Up the middle, stretching it out, trying to get 6 out of it is McGahee. And James Ferrier gets credit for the hit.
But I've watched all the plays, Jim, that go against the norm. Just like the one we saw to Daniel Fells. The tight end always runs across the field on the play action where the quarterback boots to the other side. Well, Troy Polamalu diagnoses it. He reacts. They were counting on that, and they got a big play out of it.
Inside of 3 minutes. In the second quarter. And a second down and 9. Big running lane. First down at the 12. McGahee with a burst that time. Picks up 12.
This is a big, aggressive offensive line, and they can wear you down. And that time what we saw, McClendon couldn't get off the block. The linebacker, Ferrier, misses it, can't make the tackle. So they keep running the football. Troy Polamalu getting the tackle on McGahee, but they run it so much, it can tire defense out.
Clock's going to run down to the 2-minute warning. And Denver has a 1st and 10 at the 13. Leading it 17-6. And you're watching the NFL. The legend and the executive vice president of football operations of this week implored Tim Tebow, pull that trigger.
Well, he listened. He's pulling the trigger. When the opportunity is there, they are making the pass plays, no doubt about it.
At the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, first down from the Steelers' 13. McGahee tumbles to the 10. William Gay on the hit.
You brought something up I thought that was interesting this week. Everybody in the NFL, when you play the Broncos, you go, okay, we're going to get up there and stop the run. And you talk about it and all that. And Jim, you said it. They talk about it and look at it. Last week, Kansas City, that's all they talked about. And they still gave up well over 200 yards rushing. This offensive line, they are an excellent run-blocking group. They're aggressive, and they're athletic. That's why they can get it done.
And going against a depleted defensive front with Kiesel and Hampton both already heading to the locker room. And Clark out today as well. Second down and 7. And Tebow guns it at the 5. It is dropped by Thomas. A rare drop by the second-year man out of Georgia Tech, a first-rounder a year ago. His rookie season was pretty much washed away with an Achilles injury.
Did he take his eyes off of it? Bottom of your screen, here comes Troy Polamalu. Doesn't look like it, just dropped it.
And when you got Polamalu in your vision, in your sight line, you know he's close. You don't see that drop ball a lot more often. But it's a third down now.
It's different, 3rd and long. Still, you got to think run if you're the linebackers here trying to defend this.
Short drop back, now roll out. Tebow in trouble, throws it away. He had Harrison breathing down on him.
That was a big stop for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, these last 2.
Yeah, 2 of them in a row, and the coverage down the field this time, it's excellent. Watch the 3 wide receivers trying to go across, nobody open, and then a good adjustment once they all change their route. Steelers ready for it. Yeah, like Taylor, good coverage that time on Thomas.
Prater, middle of the field, 28-yard try. Colquitt on the hold. Ronnie Paxton snaps it back, and it is good. So the Pittsburgh defense keeps him out of the end zone on 2 deep penetrations. But Denver is up now 20-6 with all 20 coming in this quarter.
How about a reversal here? If this was the other way around, we always say, can the Broncos come back? Now, when you look at the Steelers. Boomer Esiason said it in the pregame show. When they're on the road, look at their last few weeks. They are struggling to score points, and now they got a quarterback that's pretty immobile. This is a tough undertaking for the Steeler football team.
Well, you mentioned Boomer. We'll be interested in hearing his thoughts, along with JB Dan Shannon. Coach Cowher will be heading back to the Sprint halftime report shortly, plus their take on the Falcons-Giants game from earlier today, all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. You saw John Elway a moment ago. Roethlisberger wears number 7 because Elway was his idol.
Yeah, he wanted to be a quarterback who throws it down the field, and of course the mobility, there are similarities there, no question.
He wore the number because I admired, he said, his huge arm, his ability to scramble, and his competitiveness. I think those are all attributes that Roethlisberger certainly carries as well as Prater. And again, it's back out to the 20. First quarter belonged to the Steelers, and it could have been greater than 6-0. Just a pair of field goals, but then the Broncos got the 30-yard touchdown pass to Royal. Tebow from 8 yards out, then an interception. Setting up a Prater field goal from 20, and then another one from 28. Minute and 5 to go. Steelers have 2 timeouts. One-on-one coverage, and the pass is caught. That was Brown with the catch. Goodman was in tight on him, but the perfect throw, and well done by Brown as well. 25 yards.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger's missed a couple of them today down the field because he's trying to throw it soft and lay the football in there. That time, to heck with that. Threw it on the line. Good throw, good adjustment by Antonio Brown.
Ball out to the 45. Stepping up and finding an open man at the 40. And falling at the 38. It is Emmanuel Sanders, who, according to Coach Arians, is as healthy as he's been all year long. He battled a foot injury late in the year. Picks up 17. Timeout called by the Steelers, leaving them with 1.
This is probably the favorite play when you look at it here. Emmanuel Sanders going to go in the middle. Not sure where he comes from, but they cross underneath. 2 crosses underneath. They cover it. So look at there. Everybody looking underneath, and there Sanders just hooks up in the middle. The Steelers love this. They do it very well. Good recognition by Ben Roethlisberger making this completion. Look at it from behind. Let it develop. And a good job stepping up in the pocket. Boy, Von Miller is so close with that cast on his hand, knocking it out of Ben Roethlisberger's hand.
Squeeze him, loosening up. 2 for 2 in this game, both in the first quarter. First down with 51 seconds. Got time, got an open man. It's Sanders, short gain. Stops the clock at 45. Picks up just 6.
Jim, you always hear me say it. When you're playing a quarterback, even a quarterback that's limited right now like Roethlisberger, a veteran, you rush 3 guys, they know it, they take the time, they make good decisions, they deliver strikes. You've got to put some pressure on him. You can't let him just stand there or shuffle around and get that extra time.
Second down and 4. Steelers with 1 timeout. Roethlisberger looked long to Brown, and now throws it away.
3-man rush again. He saw Antonio Brown just a second too late. And man, when you watch it, right, Jim, is he fast?
Oh.
Now this Andre Goodman tells us, hey, I'm a track guy. I'm ready all year round.
Yeah, he stays in shape all year by just running sprints.
And then Antonio Brown went flying by it. There's Bruce Arians trying to come up with the answer in a situation like this.
An incompletion from here would mean about 52 yards for Sweesom, 51. Right around his career-long number. Third down and 4. Oh, a shaky snap. Ball is out. And it's fallen on by Heath Miller. Well, you got Pouncey out. You got Legursky subbing for him today. Timeout called by the Broncos.
It just comes so fast. Could be for the fact that there was a defensive lineman on Legursky right there. I don't know what he was worried about. It was another three-man rush. But it's a good job recovering it.
By Heath Miller.
Heath Miller, excellent job. That is tough when that football's bouncing around. And Jim, good timeout by the Broncos. Otherwise, the clock goes down. The Steelers could have waited and said with 3 seconds to go, they could have called a timeout and tried to throw a pass or something down the field on the last play of the first half.
That lost 23 yards.
Very good strategy by John Fox.
Ben calling Pouncey his security blanket. Loves Legursky, who subbed for him in the Super Bowl. And what's happened also with a healthy Pouncey, having Legursky on right guard. Not the case today. Sliding up to make the catch. Dangerous moment there for Eddie Royal. But has it at 23 seconds. 39-yard punt by Capanos.
That was a big snap. That's, as you can see, the Steelers, they're going to have a hard time generating points. And that 3, or the chance at 3, just another opportunity lost for what they're doing.
Expect anything here by the Broncos, who have hit 4 pass plays of 30-plus yards in this half?
Well, if it's me, I'd kneel on the football.
That's what they're going to do here with Thomas back deep. And then, by the way, they're going to receive the second half kick. They did defer. So they go to the locker room with a 20-6 advantage. They not only win the second quarter, they dominate it. Only the second time all year they had the better end of it. And on this occasion, it was by a wide margin. That's the end of the first half with the score. Denver 20 and Pittsburgh 6. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. They're back getting warmed up for the second half. The ball will be coming to the Broncos. This game began in predictable fashion for many as that Steeler defense made a couple of stops behind a line of scrimmage. Redmond and the Steelers put up a couple of field goals in that first quarter, but then things changed in the second. Tebow to Royal for a touchdown. Then the quarterback running it in for a score. They added a couple of more field goals and lead it here at halftime, 20-6. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, a 5-star performance by the Broncos in that second quarter to lead it 20-6. Let's take a look at the Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. It was the Broncos' touchdown. Just 2 plays after Tebow found Demaryius Thomas for 51 yards. It was 30 yards to Royal to take the lead at 7-6. That lead has swelled now to 20-6 as Sweesom gets ready to kick it toward Matthew Willis. The tale of the 2 quarters. The Broncos managed only 8 yards in that first quarter and no first downs. The most points in that quarter in some 64 games for the Denver side. And this is not going to be returnable either. So, as we get the third quarter started, you could hear the guys back in the studio, some of the thoughts about the second half. What do you expect here?
Well, I did hear their thoughts, and, you know, did you ever think we would say this? You know, if the Steelers can hang in there, how about that?
Right.
And I really mean that. The defense, 2 big key injuries again here in the first half, and the fact that we've seen their offense struggle, getting open. You know, the guys talked about in the studio, they're not shaking loose. And Roethlisberger cannot move at all.
It's a handoff up the middle. throws. McGahee for 5. Roethlisberger threw it 23 times in that first half. Was picked once by Carter. Tebow had 5 completions. You're going against a defense here that gave up fewest 20-yard pass plays in the entire league. But he had 4 throws that went for 30 plus, including 2 over 50 to Thomas. And wide open on the pitch to McGahee, and a first down bumped out by Monday. As you look down on the field, the Steelers come out here third quarter again without Kiesel or Hampton on the field.
Good job down the line of scrimmage. James Harrison, he's caught, and a good block on the outside. They get Lawrence Timmons knocked down. And the Broncos are one of the few teams, they look at the pictures, they know they're going to be confused by defenses. They come out because they're going to play them differently because of the option. They make adjustments at halftime. I think we just saw one right there.
McGahee now 41 yards on 11 rushes. Tebow fires it incomplete. He's going to Thomas. There is a flag.
Well, Jim, there was one of those throws where he did not hesitate. He let it go. And the coverage was tight, too.
Holding. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
It's been a rough day for Ike Taylor.
It has. On the outside, that's Thomas. Good job of coming inside. He had that right hand on Thomas. He pulled him, and it was a good call. I'd say that's the Broncos' favorite play-action pass. Fake the option, the give route, or the give to the running back. Throw it over the middle to the wide receiver.
5-yard penalty, first down at the 40. Lance ball. There's Polamalu right in the middle of things, trying to pull that football out.
Well, we'll show it to you as we go along here. Now, the first couple plays, this Steeler defense, they are going at the line of scrimmage. So if a runner breaks through, gets a couple yards, there's not anybody back there to chase him down and make the tackle. So Dick LeBeau, maybe a little too aggressive here early. This time, Troy Polamalu playing deep center field.
Second down and 8. And that's a first down for Roy. At the Pittsburgh 45. Good for 13.
The one thing that happens when you play against this offense, you're so worried about the run. Look, nobody on the outside, because you got to go in there and brace yourself in case it's a little option or the quarterback runs. So Denver, when Tim Tebow, they go through their week of passing, they just say, well, one-on-one here, one-on-one over here. There's nothing to read. It's read your guy. Does he beat the defender that's covering him? And here they come. Everybody near the line of scrimmage.
Polamalu up there. Boy, he was in so fast they almost didn't get the handoff. Polamalu and Tebow exchange a few words. Picks up 2. You know, Bobby Douglas, that name keeps coming up. You mentioned it at the first half. Dick LeBeau mentioned it yesterday, the old left-handed quarterback for the Bears.
He said, yep, I've seen a few option plays in my life. And he goes, played against Bobby Douglas. And this was really like a true triple option. Bobby Douglas read it, gave it, kept it, pitched it. Dick LeBeau played against it, had a 5-1 record against that option as a player.
Second down and 8. Step back, wanting to throw. Now the third option is to run it, and he's down at the 40. And the folks here wanted a flag for a late hit, but there is not one. Gain of 3.
Well, Tim Tebow looking down the field. And as he goes, watch the receivers. Again, the fake. He's looking over the middle. It's not there. There's nowhere to go. Both receivers covered. Does a good job. And then when he runs, remember, he's a runner. Is it a late hit? He's trying to get down.
Or a spearing?
He went head first, Jim. It's not. If he'd have slid with his feet in there and said, I'm giving myself up, that would have been fine. He did not do that.
You may have seen LeVar Woodley is out. He's on the sideline with a helmet off. So more names to the list. And the direct snap here. McGahee is stopped short. He got to about the 38. Now a decision. Do you bring out Prater, who has made 59-yarders this year on a couple of occasions? No, they're going to punt it.
Yeah, John Fox is 20-6. First off, Willis McGahee, the Wildcat. We're starting to see all these plays that you and I watch every Friday when we see practice. But John Fox, take no chance. Don't give up the field position.
Field goal would have made, if it had been good, would have made it a 3-score differential. But they'll bypass the 56-yard attempt as Ball runs out there late.
And Jim, I think this is a no-brainer for John Fox. You punt the football in this situation.
It's Britton Colquitt. Willis is there to cover it up, and he bats it out of bounds. He was not going to let that go into the end zone. So the Steelers will start deep in their own territory, down. The Steeler offense, nothing happening its last 4 drives. The most experienced playoff team in the NFL by games, cumulative. 292 games by this roster. All that experience, though, must be called on now. Down 20-6, third quarter. Helmets are flying, and Redmond, in the end, picks up a yard, maybe 2.
Now, you know, Jim, you watch this. It's almost hard to tell that you go, wow, is that Ben Roethlisberger playing quarterback? Because the Broncos, they act like it's they're going against their own offense. They're crowding the line of scrimmage. They're saying, we're not going to let you run, and we dare you to throw it. So we made a big deal out of Ben Roethlisberger's ankle injury. I think it's real. You know, we see now how much it's hampered him.
Got a flag here. It's going to be a substitution penalty, I believe, on the Steelers.
12 men in the huddle. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
I heard him saying at halftime, too, about Roethlisberger and how he was used in the late season, playing the game at San Francisco, sitting out St. Louis, playing against Cleveland. Perhaps had he just taken those last 3 weeks off. Of course, they were battling for the division, battling for a home playoff berth if somehow Baltimore had stumbled.
We asked Mike Tomlin that exact question. First one, he says, I'd do it the same way again. We don't live in our fears. We live in our hope. They wanted that bye week. They were willing to take that chance.
They've got Contry and Wesley Saunders in as receivers. Set up screen. And that's Heath Miller out to the 20. Good for 10.
Really good job. They fake it to the left. 3 wide receivers. Heath Miller, they like these inside screens. The Steelers, they're good for, you know, probably anywhere from 5 to 8 screens a game.
As banged up as Roethlisberger is and the pounding he's taken today, does it surprise you watching him as we have through the years, how he stays in there, how tough he is?
Well, I think that's unquestioned, his toughness. The question, I think, comes from the Steelers. Does he give you a chance to get this comeback?
3rd and 3. And the offense stay on the field. And Brown, this will be a big spot here. It looks like it's right on the line. Goodman dragged him down.
Oh, that's a good spot for sure. This Andre Goodman, I think, like I said in the first half, little kept secret here. Look at this. Go back in, break back out, all over Antonio Brown. But I give a lot of credit. Chris Harris, Champ Bailey, Andre Goodman, 3 against 3. They've won that battle so far today.
So Brown picks up the first.
When it's man-to-man coverage.
Dangerous.
It's a lateral.
Yes, that's a fumble. And it should go to the Broncos. They're ruling it incomplete on the field. Champ Bailey putting the hit on Wallace, and it's Doomerville who has the recovery if they want to take another look at this.
John Fox has got that flag ready.
That does not look forward at all.
Remember, for it to be a forward pass, it's got to go forward.
Well, he threw it at the 19, and the ball landed at the 18, and the challenge flag is out, and Denver has a very strong chance of winning this challenge and getting another takeaway. It's a long discussion, though, with Coach Fox about the challenge flag. And what about the whistle, though, on the play? Let's listen in.
Yeah, I heard the whistle, Jim, but it was after the action. So, in other words, the football had already been ruled or been dropped.
Denver's challenged the ruling on the field of a backward pass.
Well, the evidence clearly suggests a fumble. We'll be right back to Denver. Back in Denver. And Ron Winter's about to rule.
Denver has elected not to challenge the ruling on the field because the whistle blew when the ball hit the ground, making it an incomplete pass.
And what happens, Jim, they would have gained 1 yard, but John Fox did not want to use a challenge on it there. The purple line, that's the football where he releases it, and it definitely lands behind it. So he would have won the challenge, but only a half yard once the rule was explained to him.
But how about that being a backwards pass?
Again, yes, but since they ruled it incomplete on the field, that's why they couldn't give possession to Denver. So John Fox says, okay, then I don't want to challenge it. Does that make sense?
Well,
I know.
I understand the interpretation, but if that's not reviewable when it's clearly a fumble,
it was ruled an incomplete pass, that's why.
That's one that might have to be also challenged and reviewed in the offseason when the Rules Committee gets together. So from the 23, they take over 2nd and 10. They maintain possession, I should say. And Roethlisberger fires it. Incomplete. What a hit. Going to David Johnson, and it was D.J. Williams. There is a flag out.
Boy, David Johnson uncovered the whole play. A mistake made by the Broncos defense. But to go back to that challenge or non-challenge, Jim, yes, huge play in this game. Points on the board almost for sure if the Broncos were able to get it.
Would have been taking over the football at the 18-yard line.
Now they're saying, you know, I don't know, that could be, was Ben Roethlisberger out of the pocket.
There is no foul. There is no foul for unnecessary roughness for a blow to the head and neck area. There is no foul.
Oh, so that penalty was about this hit. Yes, it's the shoulder. It is under the neck, not to the helmet. Delivered to the chest, so that is legal.
It was D.J. Williams who delivered the hit.
I'll tell you what it shows you, just some of the things. As the year goes along, the players are starting to adapt to the new, well, not to the new rules, but that rule of hitting a defenseless receiver.
It was a big point of emphasis this year. 3rd down and 10. Roethlisberger open, good pass, and a first down to Sanders. Snap was a little high again, but then fielded it, picks up 18.
Yeah, it's another blitz. Here they come from the top of the screen. The Steelers, they're all over it. Boy, it's a good thing that Sanders is open immediately because there was a defensive lineman coming straight at Ben Roethlisberger. So no second looks for the quarterback. Get it, throw it.
Ball at the 41, mid-third.
And you can't move as a quarterback rushing straight up the middle.
In the round. And an open lane for Antonio Brown. Slices through that defense for 17. Got a nice block, too, from Heath Miller.
So many things you can do. We talked about Eddie Royal, what he can do for the Broncos. Nowadays, you need this slot receiver, Antonio Brown, who can catch the screens, behind the line of scrimmage, make plays, and run the reverses. How about Heath Miller down the field? And Doug Legursky, the center. Look like a big old fullback pulling out there trying to make a block.
Antonio Brown, the first player in NFL history to have over 1,000 yards receiving and kick return yards over 1,000 in the same season. Voted MVP by his teammates. Roethlisberger steps aside of the pressure and hits Miller for about 3. You thought the fantasy season was over. It's not. You can play NFL.com Playoff Challenge today. You can win a trip to Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans. Sign up for free. NFL.com/fantasy.
I'm really surprised the Steelers haven't put Ben Roethlisberger in his shotgun a little more and put the extra receivers in and spread the defense out and then run from that formation, because the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots really hurt them with those type of situations.
2nd and 8. Redmond. About 2 yards short of the first. We were talking about all that toughness that you always see from Roethlisberger out there, well under 100%. We asked him last night, where do you get that toughness from? Without missing a beat, he said, my grandmother Roethlisberger. His grandmother Audrey was watching back in Lima, Ohio. He gave us 5 or 6 reasons why she was a tough lady. Sweetheart, he says.
Yeah.
But I got my toughness from her, and he was excited to be able to tell us that story. This is 3rd and 2. Redmond picks up the first, and he takes off. Takes off inside the 20. Goodman trying to run him down, but the ball's out. The ball's out at the 1, and it's ruled a touchdown on the field. Now this one's going to be looked at. Now I'm going to guess that maybe Redmond was tackled inches short of the goal line, but you had a fumble as the ball hit the ground. Let's see here.
I think the biggest thing is he's down, and you're right, it looks like it's going to be just short. But there's no doubt about it, he has control of the football, knee is down. Now the question is, where do you spot it? Since it was ruled a touchdown, Jim, it will be reviewed.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
So a busy day under the hood for Ron Winter.
I was getting ready to say, if Roethlisberger was healthy, he probably would have ran a quarterback sneak there to pick up that first down. But Redmond, how about him today? Tough, physical inside. I think there's no doubt he's going to be short of the goal line.
Fumble is not an issue.
No, it's not.
Redmond so strong, carrying Andre Goodman with him.
I like what he said to us last night, in good spirits. Fumbled twice last week against the Cleveland Browns, and one of his first statements to us was what, Jim? I'm not going to run the ball tomorrow with 2 hands around it. I'm going to run to get it done. So you put 2 hands around it all the time, you're not going to be as effective as you would be if you keep one on it.
Grew up down in the southern part of New Jersey. Is a diehard Eagles fan. Randall Cunningham was his favorite player.
Inside, here it comes, and again, everybody goes left. It's a little cutback by Redmond. I like the play. Twice we've seen it, and both times it's worked.
Broken tackle there of Joe Mays. But such a diehard Eagles fan, he said he hated Troy Aikman and hated Phil Simms.
Yeah, how about that? I was actually honored. I said that puts you in a long line with a lot of people.
Yeah.
If they don't like you when they're against your team.
It's just an Eagle fan.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still looking for that first Eagle fan that ever did like me. But he's done a tremendous job. I think that's one thing. We talked about Rashard Mendenhall. What a player he is. One of the 10 best running backs in the NFL. But I think the Steelers even realized and said to us that they're lucky to have a backup running back at this point like Isaac Redmond. And Mike Tomlin even said, hey, O-line gets excited about you.
After review, the runner was down by contact with the ball at the 1.5-yard line. It's a first down and goal. The clock will start on the ready for play.
Well, Jim, your first reaction was right in all categories. That football is just, like they said, half-yard line, down by contact.
And this is the point where Redmond's hero, Randall Cunningham, could usually take care of that final yard. quarterback sneak that the Atlanta Falcons like to figure out how to run one day.
Yeah, that's right. Jonathan Scott, 72 in at left tackle.
It's Wallace taking it around the right side for the touchdown.
Some drive by the Steelers. Maybe a little fortune. You look back to start it. Wallace in motion, hands it to him. The old college speed sweep.
David Johnson has that side sealed, and then Wallace has his first ever rush touchdown.
But Jim, they're lucky. The incomplete pass that was ruled.
Yep. They take it 87 yards to trim this to 7. The Steelers put up a touchdown on the long drive. Authority Field at Mile High in Denver. And this wild card game, a 20-13 Bronco lead, the winner to advance to New England next week to take on the Patriots. And New England's seen both of these teams this year already. Won here back in December against the Broncos, but fell at Pittsburgh to the Steelers. Tebow and the Broncos will have it at the 20 with a 7-point lead. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife.
Well, Jim, let's look at this Pittsburgh defense. They said, look, if they run it on us a little, okay, we can withstand it, like the Kansas City Chiefs said last week. But the big pass plays, that's all they thought about. That's why they're losing.
And McGahee has a couple as Woodley, you see him out there pushing and shoving with Clady. Woodley has been in and out of this game, played about half the time. He's been hampered by a hamstring injury the back half of the season. Missed, again, a lot of time today. And Kiesel and Hampton, it doesn't look like they're going to return here today.
No, it doesn't. So a lot of guys out for this Pittsburgh defense. But again, they're so aggressive. The Broncos, stay with your game plan. Keep looking for those shots. They just got to think, hey, one more big play could be enough.
2nd down and 8. Tebow down the field, and there was contact, but no flag. Now there's one. Ike Taylor tangled up with Demaryius Thomas.
Ike Taylor was looking for the football and was running through it. That's why we'll see if this little conference are having on the field, if they'll pick that flag up. It looked like, from as far away as we are, he saw the football, was running to get it. He has that right too. The official that was right on the spot said no deal.
Right. He's not the one who threw the flag.
Right, that's what I said.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Penalizing for spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, we talked about it. You're going to play outside. It's you against Demaryius Thomas. Nice move off the football. Well, he's got his hand on him, too. You couldn't see that when I originally saw it. So the contact was enough to get the flag thrown.
It's a 32-yard penalty.
Even though that contact would not, that couldn't have been seen by the official who threw the flag.
Running option. Tebow keeps. Shrugs off a hit behind the line by Woodley and gains 3. Ziggy Hood with a tackle.
Well, Tim Tebow coming down the line. He's looking, okay, one free guy outside. If he takes me, I pitch it. But there's really nowhere to go because Lamar Woodley got such good depth. There was nobody really to read for Tim Tebow to pitch off of.
We've got 3 wides. Fells, the tight end, is wide. Again, Eric Decker is out with a knee injury. Suffered in the first half. Tebow tucks it under. Falls for the first. Scrambles for 8.
Well, let's just look at it. Let's be the quarterback. We're Tim Tebow. Look down the field. The receivers. Nobody really open. The dump in the middle of the field is open. He decides not to throw it. But everybody's so worried about containing him. No pressure on the quarterback. And that's why I always say when, hey, he's been sacked, I don't know how many times, Jim, in the mid-30s. But that's because he holds it. The initial pressure on him, very seldom do you see it because they're worried about the run.
Has not been sacked today. Throws it over the head of everybody. Thomas was the one back there deep, and Woodley had some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we're seeing, though. That play, he's looking off. So when you look off, it keeps the safety in the middle. Now he gets a true one-on-one to Eddie Royal for the touchdown. Now, Jim, we just started this drive. Would they be conservative? How about that? They were going for the score that time. Play action fake, double move by Thomas, but good coverage on the outside.
At the right side, stacked. Woodley on the sideline. Second down and 10. Tebow still has it. Tebow runs for another burst. We got Harrison to commit. And that left side was wide open. Willis helped block on that side. Picks up 11.
Well, James Harrison's got to keep contained. That's who has it there. There's no doubt about it. On the outside, how about Willis? Pretty good job keeping Ike Taylor from getting in there and make the play. We talked about it, too, even last week, Jim. The wide receivers for the Broncos, more involved today, but very unselfish. Tremendous blockers down the field.
Now the run on first down. Early contact by Polamalu on McGahee for no gain.
Dick LeBeau said it. Discipline. Worked all week. Said we've worked so little on normal runs. All about the option. That's a couple times we've seen James Harrison go down inside. Not sure that he made the mistake entirely, but nobody there to take the quarterback once he keeps it.
Lance ball comes into the backfield for the Broncos. Second down and 10, final minute, third quarter. And that's ball up the middle, advancing it inside the 20 for 5. So they're working up the middle, and you wonder about Ryan Clark, who is in on so many tackles week in, week out for the Steelers. Again, that blood disorder, carrying a sickle cell trait. He played in the game here in 2007. There he is, and sitting out this game today, and rightfully so, after being consulted by a whole team of doctors.
Right. Lost his spleen and his gallbladder, Jim, because of that. Didn't want to take a chance. Able to talk to the safeties, though, once they come off the field.
Playing on altitude. Third down. Pass on the mark. First down. And that was Ryan Monday, Clark's replacement on the coverage. Ball with the reception for 7.
Yeah, nice job by Ball. Getting out of the backfield fast. Really just a one-man read. Third and short. He got the edge, Lance Ball. Good throw by Tim Tebow to the outside.
It's going to run out time in the third quarter. Denver will have a first down in scoring territory to start the fourth of 7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Now the Broncos making the most out of their first postseason appearance since back in 2005 when they were knocked out in the AFC title game by these very same Pittsburgh Steelers. Leading at 20-13, Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, and the crew here in Denver as the fourth quarter begins. A first down at the Steeler 13. Tebow still with the football. Spins it around. Takes his 3 yards at the 10.
Well, I tell you, you can just design any pass you want and just say, let's pick one of 4 guys to throw it to, and you can do anything, because the Steelers, they got to play man-to-man coverage to stop the inside run game. There's no extra defenders to help out in pass coverage.
2nd and 7. Tebow takes a snap at the 15. Got pressure. Got it away to Royal. Somehow. Royal at the 5. A flag is down. It's going to be a blocking penalty, I believe, on Willis of the Broncos as Royal was tackled at the 1.
Yeah, it might be a pick, offensive pass interference, but I will say this. I love that play design. Fake it one way, go back the other.
Pass interference. Offense number 12. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Tebow barely got rid of that football. And Timmons was in on him, closing in on him.
Body me a screen, number 12. Willis never lets go of the defender. Now, you know, when you throw screen plays, I think it is you have about a 1-yard leeway. In other words, you go 1 yard down the field and make that block. That's it. Not 10, 15 yards down the field. Denver, you got to hope your quarterback knows we're in field goal range. If we make it, that's 2 scores. Be smart, very smart, and careful with the football.
2nd and 17. Can pick up a first at the 3. Tebow's pass is incomplete. Going back to Royal.
Good throw. Not an inaccurate throw. That's the one thing I said a few weeks ago to you, Jim. You got to be careful because he gets preached to him so much. Today's the first time Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator, that I've really seen Tim Tebow just let it go with freedom. But they talk about turnovers so much. He misses passes because he just is ultra conservative in his judgment.
3rd and 17.
A lot of check in these spread formations.
They go ground with ball. And was it a face mask? It's ball for 4 yards. Something happened out there that has Orlando Franklin worked up.
Either that or we saw one strong pair of hands make Lance Ball spin around. Good safe call. I do like it. They check to it. Looks like he just grabbed the jersey inside.
Yeah, just below the grid.
No penalty.
So Prater's back out to put it back to a 2-score differential, 35 yards. Good job by Colquitt. Dead center by Prater. And the lead is 10. 13-10 to play. And it's 23-13 Broncos.
Stay.
Broncos kept the football for over 6 minutes, and Prater is good on his 3rd field goal of the game. It's the 7th time the Broncos and the Steelers have met in the postseason. Denver's most common opponent. They've never played anyone else more than 3 times in the postseason. In the 6 previous matchups between these two in the postseason, the winner went on to the Super Bowl 5 of the 6 times. And I'll tell you, Prater,
he can make a field goal from 80.
Yep. That one might have been good right off the tee. Touchback.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Wild card weekend. The Houston Texans in the playoffs for the first time ever. A win led out onto the field by Bum Phillips. Congratulations to Bob McNair and that organization heading to Baltimore. The Saints with Breeze time, 626 total yards. Outscoring the Lions. And how about the Giants today? A couple of crucial moments in that game on 4th and short. And the Falcons were foiled on every opportunity. And one time they backed away from going for it, which was a crucial decision as well. Now, the last time the Steelers had the football, they drove 87 yards for a touchdown. That snap comes back with heat, and Roethlisberger with a precision pass to Antonio Brown for a gain of 19.
Boy, you said it right. Precision. Jonathan Scott now in at left tackle. Look at that window. Nobody in front of him. That might be about as good a pass protection Ben Roethlisberger's had all day long. They go to the shotgun, pick up the pace of the game, because you want to start playing the odds. Can they get the football maybe 3 more times for 2 scores? That's what they need.
You saw Jonathan Scott out there, left tackle, number 72. Perfect snap this time. Roethlisberger pump fake, open middle. Redmond splits defenders for 9. Again, Houston and Baltimore will meet next Sunday. It's a rematch of a regular season game, and it'll be a rematch either way up in New England. We'll be there next Saturday night for that primetime game. The Patriots, the #1 seed overall.
You know, one thing, Jim, that I do like about spreading the defense out, putting Ben Roethlisberger in the shotgun. We've seen it with the Patriots and the Bills. It tired out the pass rush of the Broncos.
They go run, and they go big. Look at Redmond take off inside the 30. Stiff arm on Carter before he is bumped out of bounds.
Chris Kayamatu, the left guard, watch him pulling around. This is what he loves to do. Just seals it to the outside, and then a good run by Redmond down the field. Make that little move, break it outside. Heath Miller, once again, just an awesome blocker from the tight end position. When you break it outside, you need a tight end that can block. The Steelers have one.
Redmond has his first 100-yard rushing game of his career, 112. That one picked up 28. John Clay comes in for him. Fake to Clay. Roethlisberger gets away from the Broncos. On the run, throws to the end zone, and it's out of bounds. He was being chased by the likes of Marcus Thomas. Throws it down in the area of Mike Wallace.
Well, let's watch it, Jim. There's just nobody open that time. The one thing that we haven't seen today, of course, everybody's talked about it since Roethlisberger can't move as much. The Pittsburgh receivers, they are awesome at when he moves, they can turn their routes and go the other way in one step. So that is, we've heard it talked about. Our studio show said it. A big part of the offense not there today for the Steelers.
Something Bruce Arians has had to do. Spin some magic the last couple of years with all kinds of lineup changes and a flag like Sanders.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
You know, trying to put a patchwork team together. There's Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator. Last year, he took the team to the Super Bowl as a coordinator and had 4 different quarterbacks play and 7 different tackles. You get all these names that are being bandied about for head coaching positions, and it's a quarterback-friendly league. I don't see Arians' name showing up. It should.
He's done it with a few different quarterbacks, no doubt about it.
Von Miller had missed a couple of plays. He's back out there. Lined up right over Jonathan Scott. Second down and 15. Roethlisberger on the run now. Will take it to the 19.
Well, he told us against Cleveland, yeah, a few times I went out there and ran, and I'm doing the play, and I go, hey, my ankle doesn't hurt. Then I stop, walk back to the huddle, and go, wow, my ankle really hurts.
Yeah.
So the adrenaline takes over. Of course, it would for anybody, wouldn't it? When you have all these guys chasing you, trying to hit you.
Here's a guy that runs for 9 yards who had been in the boot Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That boot beginning to make his left knee sore as well. It's a 3rd and 6.
Field goal range. Be careful.
Pressure, throws it. Incomplete, knocked loose. There were 3 defenders around Heath Miller, including DJ Williams and David Bruton.
Well, too, Jim, just look at the pressure Ben Roethlisberger is under. It's a 3-man rush, but they stay in front of him. He does a good job. Boy, look at that throw, how tight it is. But again, there's no doubt if he could have run with that football, if he was healthy, he would have.
Sweeson made 2 in the first quarter. This one's from 37. Campanos on the hold, and Sweeson a perfect 3 for 3 on the day. As we inch inside of 10 minutes. Campanos, a little high, got it down soundly, and the Steelers are back within 1 score. play in this one. 7 plays, points on the board, field goal by Sweesom. And this one will not be returned. There's never been a playoff game in NFL history where there was never a single kickoff return, but that's been the case so far today.
Dentro.
It can only be Brett Kiesel, or I guess maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick. But
That's right.
Kiesel with 24 family members in attendance. A lot of family coming over from Utah. Father Lane. Casey Hampton. He went out very early in this game with a knee. First and 10, Tebow. Gets 11. Tebow getting pretty excited about that with Polamalu in the area.
Well, a lot of times he keeps it, goes outside, and they got him that time. You look at it, Hayward, number 97, coming down for the run. Makes a mistake, and boy, Troy Polamalu, he is full speed.
Oh, no call on that. Yeah. That was Taylor. Had a hold of the face mask. This half, Tebow's rushed for 39, passed for 19.
Making mistakes on the option, though.
And that picks up 3. Well, for more than 30 years, it's the must-see show the pros watch. And next week, the NFL's leading rusher, Maurice Jones-Drew, will be there with you, Phil. All 1,606 yards this year. We'll be joining you, JB, Chris, and Warren in the studio Wednesday on Showtime.
See, last week I got in an argument with Warren Sapp a little bit, and I never was worried that he was going to come running across and do something to me because, you know, Chris Collinsworth was in between us.
You could throw a block?
Well, you know, he doesn't look like much, but he could protect if he had to.
And Mike Lombardi be there to assist, too. He'll have all the latest on the rumor mill around the league. Taking to the line, second down. Tebow shakes off Timmons. Lobs it. Too high for Ball. Had to make a decision there. Might have had some room had he run with it.
This is what happens. Look, no rush. You said it. Woodley finally gets a little pressure. Then once he moves, the offensive line so adept at finding another guy and block. Now once down the field, here's what happens. Demaryius Thomas, they're going for the score again. Now Tebow scrambles. He is open, but it takes so long. And Tebow going to the left, cannot see him open down the field.
Unable to be accurate with the pass on the run. Now on third down. Rifles it. Thomas has it, first down. Turned around on Taylor and picks up 15 and a first.
If you watch this game, almost all these good throws, they go to his left side. He loves it. And this might be the first time I've seen a true back shoulder throw by Tim Tebow to a wide receiver. The motion was tighter, more efficient, and it was a really good throw.
It's footwork, though, a lot, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's a little bit of everything, Jim. It's talking about throwing a big object with a lot of people around you, so it's complicated, but that was one of the better throws of the day for Tebow.
Picks up the first near the 50, and there is a nice shake move. Ball is out. McGahee fumbled, and Woodley has the recovery. It was Ryan Mundy who knocked it loose. And the Steelers have the football at the 44 with 7.5 to play.
Let's see if he's down, Jim, as he comes through. Ryan Mundy, safety near the line of scrimmage.
You're not going to win that challenge if you throw a flag.
Well, what a job by Woodley picking it up. Let's see when possession comes out.
It's Cameron Hayward who had a hold of him first, then Ryan Mundy.
Yeah, it comes out just before his knees hit.
Both Mundy and Hayward, Pittsburgh natives. And you can, well, it's...
Denver's challenge of rolling on the field of a fumble.
But you believe the knee was just inches above the ground?
That looked like, that last replay looked like it was a couple inches off the ground.
So listen up. Ford F-150 was just named Motor Trend's 2012 Truck of the Year. Know why? Well, here's your lesson of the day, pal.
It's all in the name, Motor Trend. See, the Ford F-150 is the only truck out there with EcoBoost, which is a powerful motor that also delivers on the trend of excellent gas mileage. Got it? It's Truck of the Year 101, baby. Class dismissed. This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
Welcome to business as usual on the IBM Smart Cloud. A small lab in Berlin is using supercomputing to fight cancer. An industrial city in China is becoming a high-tech hub in under 4 years. Britain's building a smart grid to help cut emissions by 80%. Even an independent studio in Malaysia can produce big-time blockbusters.
Transforming business through the cloud. That's what I'm working on. I'm an IBMer. Let's build a smarter planet.
You'd be shocked how much data you use in a month. Email, status updates, finding your way, uploading photos, downloading an app, and another app. Kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, all stacking up until you reach your limit. And what happens if you go over? With Sprint, you don't have to worry. Only Sprint offers truly unlimited data.
Don't miss the new hit drama, Person of Interest, Thursday, only CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway, train hard, eat fresh.
The ruling on the field, a fumble, being challenged now by John Fox and the Broncos. McGahee.
Ball's out. Look at that. The knees are not on the ground.
Yep.
That is Ryan Monday. Twice for these safeties.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was out before the knee was down. Therefore, it is a fumble recovered by the defense. Denver is charged with their first team timeout. That is their second challenge. They have no challenges remaining for the duration of the game.
So out of challenges, Woodley recovers. Here's a Pittsburgh defense that was #1 in so many categories this year: scoring defense, pass defense, total defense, but last in the league in takeaways, oddly enough. But they got a big one here. Midway fourth. Touchdown away from tying it. Play action. Roethlisberger in trouble, is decked at the 39, and a loss of 5. It's Bunkley who has hold of him, as well as Doomerville putting on the pressure.
Inside pressure. They're going for the score, trying to go deep down the field. Roethlisberger, even though he steps up, Elvis Doomerville causes the sack. From the outside, he gets the pressure. He steps up. Hard for an offensive lineman like the center, Legursky, to know where the quarterback is.
Second, and we'll call it 16.
So Bunkley gets the sack.
Patry in as a receiver. Empty backfield, and Roethlisberger hits the target. Nice piece of running by Sanders. He could have been stopped for about a 6 or 7 yard gain. Instead, turns it into 15.
Wow, how fast. Little short throw. Stack the receivers. The Steelers are very good at giving formations to make sure their receivers, which are on the small side, you know, they're not big and strong and physical. They can get manhandled sometimes at the line of scrimmage. Stack them, they get free releases, then they can catch and run.
Third down, and 1 to go. Redmond delivers again in short yardage, and the Steelers have a new set of downs at the 42. Running behind Heath Miller and David Johnson.
Heath Miller, 83, going to lead across the formation. Good block. How about Jonathan Scott? There you see the block by 83 up inside. Know the situation. Heath Miller is the leader. A little coming across the formation, gets DJ Williams. Jonathan Scott, too. Nice job by him coming in and taking over for Matt Starks.
5:40 left. first down. And able to take it to the 37. Good for 5.
Coverage down the field's pretty good. You're Ben Roethlisberger. Think ahead. I look at this and go, this could be your last chance. Nobody really open. He doesn't like it. They do not stay in front of him. So top of your screen, they're looking to throw it. The coverage is there. They force him to run, and he does.
You know they hold their breath on that Steelers sideline every time he takes off with it. But he avoids the contact best he can. Second down and 4. Again, Fields the aggressive snap, and he got a big lane here by Redmond. Shakes off a hit, has the first down. They're going to have to spot that forward progress. Good for the first.
Boy, Ben Roethlisberger, that ankle. Nice catch. Being alert. Good blocks outside. Mike Wallace, wide receiver, getting a little block. Chris Keomatu coming around.
And again, you got Doug Legursky filling in for Marquise Pouncey. Legursky, usually the right guard, had to fill in at the Super Bowl as well for Pouncey. Basically the same injury, high ankle sprain.
Well, they're back to 4 defensive linemen, which is the best way to play this Steeler offense.
From under center on first down, they fake to Clay. Roethlisberger going for the tying touchdown to Wallace, and it's almost intercepted. Champ Bailey had a beat on it, but couldn't bring it down. And Wallace, without a catch in this half, was double-teamed in the end zone.
From the backside, Mike Wallace trying to run through the defense, but they're all over Champ Bailey. Good position, undercuts the football, and goes for the interception.
Wow, should have had it.
Yes.
50 career picks, 11 Pro Bowls, more than any DB ever. And he knows how huge that would have been had he hauled it in. Timeout called by the Steelers. As you saw McGahee on the bench, hoping his fumble doesn't lead to a tying touchdown. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and an important hidden camera investigation by Scott Belly, followed by The Good Wife and CSI Miami. It's tonight only CBS America's most watched network.
Well, I think it goes without saying, pretty easy, right, Jim? 2 timeouts for the Steelers, 3:56. It's 4-down territory. So the quarterback, you just got to know that. Of course, he knows it, but any doubt on second or third down, don't take a sack, throw it away. Last play, let's look at it. Heath Miller's going down the field. Pretty good chance if he throws it in. And also on the other side, Wesley Saunders, the other tight end, he had a chance too. But when in doubt, throw it to your best receiver. That was Mike Wallace.
Second down and 10. Got the time. Now runs out of the pocket, goes to the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Jericho Cotchery able to hold on to it from 31 yards out and a squeeze them extra point away from a tie.
Boy, how about that? Jericho Cotchery, we've heard so much about him. Ben Roethlisberger, again, the 3-man rush. The extra time. He stood there in the pocket. It wasn't there. Then he moves out. And what a tough catch down the field, Jim. Cotchery. We've heard Mike Tomlin talk about him a lot.
That was some catch by Cotchery, who surprisingly had a drop on an easy throw that would have been a huge gainer in the first half. Makes up for it here. Greg Warren snaps it back. Extra point, ties it. Tied at 23. The former Jet, Jericho Cotchery, with the tying touchdown.
Well, let's just take a look at it, Jim. I'm just going to play it. And when you look at this play, the first thing is you look at it. Look at the 3 rushers. So you're the quarterback. They're down the field. All that time, nobody open. So Ben Roethlisberger, for really the first time, breaks the pocket. And then we talked about it. The receivers, they don't stop working. And that move, and what a catch by Cotchery.
Just one play after Bailey had a Great chance for the interception.
And Ramon Foster comes and double teams Von Miller. That ensured Roethlisberger getting out of the pocket. And how about this?
Just past the outstretched arm of DJ Williams.
Looking at a double catch and still holds on after the hit. Cotchery.
Ooh, caught it by the nose.
And just re-grips it as he's getting ready to get hit again by Bush.
Ben Roethlisberger resilient again.
Well, you know, you look at it, Jim, all of a sudden here in the fourth quarter, we see him moving around more. Running with the football.
Yeah, rolling out on that pass. Couple of scrambles that were crucial as well in this second half. Willis, this should be returnable, and we finally have a kick return. But not for much. Down at the 15. Brought down there by Jason Worlds.
Been some participation by the crowd today, too. The Bronco fans been behind their team from once they get started. And, of course, when something good happens for the Steelers, we see all those terrible towels come flying out.
Each team with 2 timeouts. In the line, they go back to McGahee. And he is met by McClendon and others. This is the one.
Jim, this is when it gets tough. Sometimes it's easy to be wide open and run that offense and let it flow like we saw from the Broncos there a few times. Getting the pass interference, trying to go for the scores when they were down in there when they kicked the field goal. But now with the score tied, you're backed up.
You saw Prater.
Will you let the quarterback pull the trigger?
Hoping he gets another chance. Taking a few deep breaths on the sidelines. Won 4 games this year. Tebow's got time, and he's got his man at the 33. It's Daniel Fells with the catch, the tight end. Gain of 17.
How about that? Well, it's because they ran that one play before. Fells comes across. There's no safety this time coming up to cut that crosser. Troy Polamalu got beat once before with it. That time, see what happens? It's a chain reaction. Good job by Tim Tebow pulling up, throwing another good throw.
Released it just in time before Hayward knocked him down. First down. And again into the line for a couple with McGahee.
Another first down, they'll be in field goal range.
Well, with Prater's leg.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, of course.
Well, twice this year he's made it from 59. Already getting some encouragement on the sideline. And they're going to run it down to the 2-minute warning. 2 timeouts for each side coming out of day. 2nd and 8 for the Broncos coming out of the 2-minute warning. Ball at the Broncos 35. The winner to play New England next Saturday night in the divisional round. We'll go shotgun here. Pocket collapsing on Tebow. Tries to break away. Somehow does. Down the field and incomplete. So 3rd and 8 coming up. Pressure from Woodley and Cameron Hayward. The rookies had a very active game here, pinch hitting for Kiesel.
Hard to bring him down. Remember, he's every bit of 240 pounds. And he just plays heavy, too. They wanted a face mask.
Same thing happened last week against Kansas City. They didn't get a call.
They didn't get a call, but I'll never forget Derek Johnson, linebacker for Kansas City, says, hey, this isn't a quarterback you go, I can't wait to hit him. Remember, he says, you are hitting an NFL running back.
Will they keep the football or punt it away? 3rd down and 8. Lance the feet, fires the pass short. He was going to Demaryius Thomas, and now Colquitt will come out to punt.
He had him. The protection, they blitzed. Look at the pocket. It's pretty good. Nice shuffle in the pocket by Tim Tebow, but that's a tough throw. Defense playing safe. Thomas coming across, just underthrown.
Britton Colquitt. catch on this fair catch signal. Kind of half-hearted. Brown wasn't even sure if he had called it officially. He was ready to start dancing around and taking off. But it's a 40-yard punt, no return. And Roethlisberger has 137 to operate with and 2 timeouts. And we have the Subway post-game show on standby back at Studio 43 in New York. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher.
I got to give it. You think about this game, the Steelers, just all the adjustments they've had to make today on the fly. Roethlisberger, the center's out. Different left tackle in now. Their running back, Mendenhall. Injuries on the defensive side, and here they are with a chance to win the game.
Can Roethlisberger engineer the great fourth quarter comeback, or will we have the first postseason overtime game with the new rules? As Roethlisberger's in trouble and is taken down at the 18 by Von Miller. Roethlisberger almost had that ball come out.
Protection was very good. Nobody open down the field. Good adjustment by Von Miller. Get off the block when the quarterback moves.
That ball was switched hands with Roethlisberger. He was able to hold on to it, loss of 4. Clock running inside 110. Roethlisberger. All kinds of time, and it is a completion for a first down to Antonio Brown.
What a catch. What a catch.
How about the time?
The time, but to stand in there so close. I thought it was going to be knocked out of his hand. He stood in that pocket where it's collapsed about 1,000 times in his career. Not easy to make. Ben Roethlisberger panicked.
They don't use the timeout at 34 seconds. Down the field they go, and another great catch. This time it's Sanders. The 2 young receivers, Brown and Sanders, who don't get all the attention that Mike Wallace does. But big catches on the last 2 throws. 18 picked up here.
Jim, safety blitz. They're ready for it again. The up the field, the little routes. But how about the catch the play before? Oh, what a nice move. You win at the line of scrimmage. Antonio Brown, that was nice, kept working, and he actually caught that football when it was by him. Got his hands behind his body and still made the catch.
And the Steelers take their second timeout with 25 seconds remaining, and squeeze him, knowing it could come down to his right foot.
You know, it's 25 seconds, 1 timeout. You don't have to be greedy here in this stadium when you talk about footballs, or kicking field goals, I should say. Because don't you think, Jim, it's easy 10 yards shorter than the distance says.
No question about it. Sweezum's career long is 52.
I watched them during warm-ups, both kickers. In 55-yard field goals, they make them look like it's nothing. They hit the net behind the goalpost, which is another 15 yards.
As long as this year was a couple of weeks ago out at San Francisco from 51.
Of course, when they kick it, in these situations during warm-ups, I should say, the game's not on the line. Boy, nice job. Looks like he gets his hands underneath it.
Emmanuel Sanders has 6 catches in the game. So John Fox's team, high drama most of the year, fourth quarter, late stages. But normally it's his team that has the ball.
Looks like a blitz.
On first down from the 45 of Denver. Roethlisberger wanted, unloaded, the ball is out, and he falls on it back at the 43. Watch the clock here. It was Dumerville who knocked it loose.
It's a 3-man rush again. Lots of time. You're right, Jim. Elvis Dumerville dives and knocks it out of his hand.
Last timeout has to be taken here by the Steelers. And they're all the way back at the 43. A loss of 11.
Boy, what a job. Elvis Dumerville, Von Miller, haven't heard much from them in the last few weeks, but today they have played hard and they played well, Jim. Made some big plays.
How big is that recovery? Had Denver fallen on it, you already would have been in Prater range. There's McGahee, who had a costly fumble in this fourth quarter.
Three-man rush will give Ben Roethlisberger time to move and still throw it down the field, and maybe they can spike it to get the field goal try. And it is.
Coming in on Roethlisberger. Shakes off the hit, throws, batted away by Bailey. Big-time play. That was going to Hines Ward.
You said it, big time. Champ Bailey playing the situation. He falls off the receiver near the line of scrimmage, chases him, and then just gets the tip.
We had both Ward and Wallace in the area. And now only 12 seconds remain. Tackle him inbounds, and the game will go to overtime. There's a flag from the defensive backfield area. It's going to be a delay of game.
I think if he gets a chance, Jim, you look at this, 8 or 10 yards is all you need to at least get a chance to kick a very long field goal, because that field goal attempt will happen as time expires.
Well, if you got 10 yards, you'd be asking for 67, 68-yard field goal. But you got to get out of bounds first.
That's the hard part.
Roethlisberger looks, dumps it off Redmond. Redmond can go to that sideline and get out of bounds, and he does at the Denver 49. And now here you go. This would be that 66, 67 yard. If you go for it, the field goal.
I think you try it.
Which would be the longest field goal in the history of the league.
How about that?
Well, Sweezum looked like he was ready to go.
They're not going to take the chance, because if they try it, kicks it low, gets blocked, who knows what happens.
So Big Ben, who got his name Big Ben because of a Hail Mary pass he completed his sophomore year in college at Miami University to win a game, will not get a chance to get it away. We're going to overtime. Robert Ayers puts an end to that.
Good strategy. Don't give him the extra time. What they do, they actually blitz him in this situation. You have 5 rushers, because they're not going to let him run around and throw one into the end zone. Great strategy by Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator. And Ayers, another key figure today, played very well.
I don't know why you don't see that more often. I agree with what you say about Dennis Allen. So often you see a 3-man rush, the quarterback's got all day and gets the heave to the end zone, then anything can happen. But they rush 5, and we're going to overtime, and we've got the first non-sudden death overtime game in NFL history. The same 2 teams that played the NFL's first ever regular season overtime game back on September the 22nd, 1974. It was here, not in this stadium, just right a few hundred yards away at Old Mile High.
Well, we talked to both teams about what are you going to do if it goes to overtime. You know, Jim, there's a little strategy. We'll talk about it. But both coaches said you have to take the football if you win the coin toss.
Well, it's not the usual overtime scenarios you're accustomed to seeing. And this rule was enacted about 20 months ago at some league meetings. It never was enacted, never came into place last year. It was never needed in last year's postseason. But here you go. Both teams are guaranteed a possession unless the team that has the first ball, football first, scores a touchdown.
Okay, man. In overtime, in the playoffs, there are unique timing rules, unique playoff rules. Each team is entitled to an opportunity to possess the ball, with two exceptions. If the team on defense scores in any fashion, the game is over. If the team that gets the first possession scores a touchdown, the game is over. Otherwise, each team has to have the opportunity to possess the ball. Timing is as if we're starting a new game. All set? Your choice. You call tails. It is heads. Denver's won the toss. He likes to receive.
Well, this new rule was really put in to eliminate the one possession win, especially the one possession bing, 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 3 plays and the cheap field goal win to close out a season. It's only in the postseason. There you see the rules. All the challenges will come from the booth. And we'll be back with this history-making first postseason overtime in a moment. Bill Sims trying to settle things here. The winner to take on New England next week. John Elway engineered the Broncos' only postseason overtime win, the famous drive in the AFC Championship game 1986 against Cleveland. Eddie Royal is the returner. Will he get a chance? No, he won't. So the Broncos will take over at the 20. A 20-6 halftime lead by the Broncos disappears as they had this touchdown pass to Royal in the second quarter, plus a Tebow touchdown run and a couple of Prater field goals. Field goals coming off, in one case, a pass interception. And then Wallace ran one in from a yard out. The fumble, setting up a Roethlisberger strike. Great catch, Patchery. And here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Score 6 on the first possession to close it out. They do it on the very first play. He was open at the 40. Tebow hit him in stride, and there was a stiff arm by Thomas delivered at midfield that basically ended the game.
They played run defense. Nobody back in the middle of the field to help. We've said it, Jim. That's their #1 play-action pass. They throw it almost always to Tim Tebow's left side. And let's look at it. Thomas to the top of the screen, just runs this route. We've seen it a few times. Look, nobody's in the middle. Everybody at the line of scrimmage playing run. Nice fake. Oh my gosh, nobody back. And Thomas, how about that speed? Outrunning both defenders for the touchdown.
Ryan Mundy and Ike Taylor were the 2 back deep. And it's a stiff arm on Taylor that set him free.
It almost, Jim, had to be a mistake for Ike Taylor to be on the outside with nobody helping him inside. But Monday, they've done it so much today. Where both safeties near the line of scrimmage, the Broncos, hey, they opened it up. That's why they won the game today.
Watch the stiff arm.
Oh, Thomas, big receiver out of Central Florida. First-round pick. Not only the stiff arm, the speed.
4 catches, 204 yards, and a touchdown. Tebow, the most yards any quarterback threw against the #1 defense all year, 316. And that magic that everybody's talked about when they had that 6-game win streak that was gone for 3 weeks, it was back in the biggest way.
Let's think of John Fox last week after the game against Kansas City. He got in the car with his wife, and his wife after a few seconds says, "Wow, John, that was ugly." Well, today, the exact opposite.
What was John Elway thinking about? Look at him. The defending AFC champions have been defeated. So many doubters out there about Denver all season long. But the Broncos are on to the divisional round and will meet up again with the New England Patriots next Saturday night. New England beat them here 41-23 a month ago. They will play in New England 6 years to the day after beating the Patriots in the divisional round here. Their last playoff win before minutes ago. So the Denver Broncos, only 8-8 in the regular season. All the home teams win on Wild Card Weekend. And Tebow once again writes the perfect script at the end. JB and company coming up in a moment.
prime time. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, stop laughing. Trent Dilfer, stop laughing. We kind of gave it, I think, for the holidays, a month to calm down, right?
Yes.
Let Christmas, let New Year's happen. We tried to explain all this about a month ago. Gave it a hiatus. We're back at it. I can't wait to hear you guys.
We're back at it in a big way.
We are back
in
at
a big way. Historic.
I can't wait to hear you either, Tom.
The playoffs are officially upon us. After a group of games in which, when push came to shove, the home team had their way with the road team, then there was the fourth one. Would Mile High Magic with Tim Tebow amazingly continue for the 8-8 Denver Broncos, the winners of the AFC West? Or would the defending AFC champion Pittsburgh Steelers, with a hobbled Ben Roethlisberger, with a roster that seemingly every series would lose another player, but a 12-4 battle-tested Steeler team, would they succumb to what some of the league had succumbed to during the middle of the season, toward the end of the year, or did the clock strike 12 for Denver? Here we go from Mile High in a game that you weren't sure would it be close or not. But how would Ben play? How would Tim Tebow play the Broncos off 3 straight losses? Tebow looking for Demaryius Thomas after Pittsburgh had totally controlled. You wondered whether Denver would ever get a first down. It was 2 field goal squeeze them, and it was 6-0. But 51-yard, and then Eddie Royal. So all of a sudden, first quarter looked like, uh-oh, here we go again. But now they're pulling the trigger, fellas.
And a great throw by Tim Tebow. Great route by Eddie Royal. A little inside post move. Goes vertical, and Tebow drops in the dime.
So 7-6 all of a sudden Denver. Now Denver again after their defense playing well. Tebow, Demaryius Thomas. It's it's 58 yards.
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas all day long. Look at him get open there. Little stutter move. This ball's thrown early. Demaryius Thomas catches it and then goes to work after all day long, run after the catch.
So no receiver had a 100-yard game against them all year, and now in the playoffs they do it. And Tebow in the end zone for a touchdown. 14-6 Broncos? Now, Denver's defense hasn't played with a lead very often in the last month. So what happens? Robert Ayers had a big game, a sack of Ben Roethlisberger, whose mobility obviously hampering him.
Yeah, but great job of this defensive front, collapsing the pocket from the outside, nowhere to step up, and you can see Ben was a little bit hurt.
Next play over the middle, and that is Quentin Carter, who's playing only because Brian Dawkins is hurt. And Carter with the pick all the way out of the Steeler 19. My goodness, this tide has turned. Under a minute to go. On the snap, remember, Pouncey, the center, not playing. That's Bronco Legursky, who did start in the Super Bowl but snaps it over his head. Heath Miller falls on it. It's 20-6, Denver at the half. Now, Ben looking for the screen to Mike Wallace, but it's, wait a minute, it looks like a lateral.
Yeah, clearly, as you look at it, the ball is going to be released right around the 19. When it lands, it is on about the 18. That's a lateral. However, whistle blown, they're going to rule that play to be incomplete.
So first they thought it challenged, and you couldn't challenge it. Pittsburgh gets extra help, and Antonio Brown, he end around for 18 yards. Now the Steelers down 2 touchdowns on the move. Later in the drive, late third, Isaac Redmond, remember playing? Because Mendenhall's out. And he's in the end zone, they think, for a touchdown, but every score gets reviewed, and we take another look, and he's down right there before he gets in.
The correct call, you can see his knee come down, ball's at the half-yard line.
Next play, Mike Wallace, we give it on the quick scoot to the receiver, and now it's 20-13. Next Denver drive, Tebow firing to Thomas. But a pass interference on Ike Taylor, and here's some contact. Refs had an interesting game.
Well, you know, there's some amount of contact there. I guess it's a good call, but again, during the playoffs, I'd like to see them let the players play.
It would lead to a field goal, though. It's 23-13, now 23-16. Willis McGahee up the middle, but it's a fumble. And with 8 minutes to go, it's a fumble. John Fox would challenge, but good call. Ball out, fellas, before he's down.
Ball is out, and this is the break the Steelers needed at this moment of the game to get back in it.
Now ensuing drive. Redmond up the middle for 1 and first down. Second, 2 plays later. Redmond to the right side for another Pittsburgh Steeler first down. Then Roethlisberger to Mike Wallace. Tick, tick, tick. Oh, Champ Bailey, who's one of the best to ever play the position, almost picks it off. Timeout. Pittsburgh, under 4 to go. Ben, scrambling, firing. Jericho Cotchery. It's a touchdown, and we're tied at 23.
How about the play by Ben Roethlisberger? Hobbled on the ankle, understands the gravity of the moment, doesn't care about the pain, goes back to his fastball. That's extending the play, getting on the move, and delivering the strike to Cotchery in the end zone.
So now, the Broncos, Tebow warming up. It's their ball in 2nd and 8. 2-minute warning. Tim, buying time. This is the guy you've seen in the last 5 minutes, but the Eddie Royal incomplete. Wait a minute, and did he grab the face mask? That's Lamar Woodley.
Lamar Woodley grabbed the face mask. It wasn't called, but again, Tebow showed his ability to extend the play.
Now, Tim, firing, and misses Thomas, and the Broncos will punt. Pittsburgh ball. How many times have you seen Ben Roethlisberger deliver here? Minute to go. Ben. Antonio Brown, voted the Steeler MVP this year for his receiving and his kick returning, 17 yards. Now to Emmanuel Sanders, 18 yards are at the 45. Next play, coverage. Elvis Dumerville knocks it up, but Big Ben falls on it. Take another look. Elvis in the building.
Yeah, from Louisville, knocks the ball out. Then the awareness to go back and get it. Otherwise, scoring opportunity for the Broncos.
Or scoring opportunity Steelers, but they lose 11 yards. Now 4th and 43 seconds to go. You're looking for Hail Mary. Robert Ayers with the sack. And we go to overtime. And now there's new overtime rules. We didn't have them last year because we didn't have an overtime game. If you win the toss and you get the ball first and you score a touchdown, you win. But anything else continues the game. Who wins the toss? Who would win the toss? All right, let's flip it. Let me tell you what happened. Denver won the toss, kicked through the end zone, and now the very first play, they're going to run it right. No! It's Demaryius Thomas, and he could go all the way. One play from scrimmage, 80 yards, touchdown, Broncos. Tebow, a touchdown pass to Thomas. The Denver Broncos, in scintillating fashion, win it 29-23. John Elway said fire it. They fired it. Tebow 10 of 21 for 316. And the Broncos have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The you gotta be kidding me AFC West chance Broncos knocking the defending AFC champion Pittsburgh Steelers out of the playoffs in the last game of the wild card round. Tim Tebow, previous 3 games, losses. Forget the completion percentage, still under 50%, 10 of 21. But he threw for 316. And after a first quarter of, we wondered if they'd ever get a first down, he threw for a bunch in the second quarter. And, of course, 80 yards coming in overtime on the final play. So, the Denver Broncos busting through. Here they go. Now they go on to play New England. They played within the last month and lost.
Oh, my goodness.
Look, we saw Tebow, Roethlisberger. The first quarter, it looked, forget it. Second quarter, then Pittsburgh couldn't do anything right defensively. Your turn first, because I think you played there, Tom, 14 years.
Yeah, I thought that they did a lot of things so well today. Balancing the offensive attack, the defense finally came up with the pressure from the guys up front once they got the lead, as Boom said. But, you know, the storyline today is all about Tim Tebow. And John Elway asked him to pull the trigger. I think challenged him to make the throws downfield, to put the pressure on the opposition by being able to complete passes, not only in situations where you had 3rd and long, but in situations where you wanted to throw sometimes on the early downs. And Tim did an outstanding job of doing that, threw for over 300 yards on only 10 completions. But this is an amazing effort for him. And I said this morning that this was important to his future as the Broncos went forward. Well, he just delivered in a big, big way for the Denver Bronco football team.
Talk about responding when the pressure is squeezing you, right? All week long with Denver Broncos, right? We're hearing about Brady Quinn possibly playing. You know, we're hearing about, hey, Tebow's proven the last couple weeks he can't do it. And imagine that pressure that Tim Tebow was facing within the organization, where just a few weeks ago he was looked at almost as a deity within the organization. Now all eyes were on him. We can't win a playoff game with him. And he responds in those conditions and comes out and plays by far his finest football of his NFL career. It speaks volume of the person. And I know we always go back to the person when we're talking about Tim Tebow, but this is a great example. The bigger the moment brings out the best in Tim Tebow.
And the team, just to continue one moment, the team certainly is going to respond to that. The football team saw this. They understand the kind of pressure that Trent is talking about. They understand what Tim Tebow's listening to, not only all week. Some of us were saying it this morning. I doubted that he had the ability to do what we just saw. He comes out, he challenges everybody by delivering in the biggest moment of his career as a pro. This is an amazing night for Tim Tebow.
We're kidding going into the highlights, and we'll talk Pittsburgh here in a moment, who in so many ways played gallantly and valiantly. It's as if we put for a month, and I'm not kidding, all the things we were trying, everybody was trying to explain. They won 7 of 8, the 3 of them in overtime, so many of them of the miraculous variety, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then, he's progressing as a passer. The Broncos offense is evolving even more from the way they were at the middle of the year. And then all of a sudden for 3 games, now we're going backwards in this. And now all of a sudden it's as if put those 3 weeks over here on the shelf. This is what we were building for towards when they're on that 7-1 streak. Is that what it looked like to you, Trent, if you pull those 3 losses out a little bit?
I did. I agree. I think part of this, too, is that the Broncos went back to doing what Tim Tebow was comfortable with.
Right.
And they went to what Tim Tebow was comfortable with, and then he had guys make plays. You know, as quarterbacks, whether you're Tim Tebow, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, you need your friends to be friendly. And I thought that was a key thing in this game, as you're talking about Tim Tebow's receivers making plays. Conversely, Ben Roethlisberger's did not. They could not get open early on. Right here, you have an isolation matchup outside. This is early in the game when the Pittsburgh Steelers can really grab hold of this game. Now you go to Tim Tebow. Great throw down the boundary, but look at Demaryius Thomas make the great catch. Bring it in. Eddie Royal, the great move. Getting to the sideline here on the little post-fake fade, and he brings in the tough catch. All day long, Tim Tebow doing a great job, but Demaryius Thomas working open right there versus Ike Taylor, who he just had ownage on all day long, bringing home the ball, and then working after the catch. I mean, Tim Tebow played great football today, not taking anything away from him, but his playmakers stepped up in a huge way when Ben Roethlisberger's did not early in the game.
Well, what I was going to say, also, I think that you saw the kind of pressure that this offense that Trent is talking about, the things that Tim does best, that he can put on you as a defense when you don't see it all the time. When you're not looking, you know, at that option on a week-to-week basis, James Harrison, who may be the most aggressive player in the National Football League, was put in limbo as you watch the course of this football game. As you watched him, he approaches this edge. Now here, he's just going to back up. He's moving around. This is a great job of extending a play. This is what we're looking at right here. But then delivering the ball right on target. And I'll say this. Troy Polamalu, who likes to improvise and maybe is one of the great improvisers in the history of football at the safety position, finds himself unable to do that and make the defense be successful because Ryan Clark is absent from his position. That's what allows oftentimes Troy Polamalu to do what he does because he knows that Ryan Clark is going to be behind him, taking care of that area in which he leaves a void. Now here's James Harrison. This is what I was talking about initially. Look at James. He caught in limbo. He doesn't know whether the ball's being handed off inside or whether it's going outside.
There's no doubt, Tom. I think people really need to understand the conflict this read option puts the defense in. Whether the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs, doesn't matter who you are. This is so new to the league.
That's right.
And when you're in the shotgun and you put that ball in the belly of the back, that defense has to respond. The only way I could explain it is if you took a traditional quarterback and he goes play action, it puts pressure on the defense because it's a second reaction mode for the defense.
Correct. That's correct.
But now with Tim Tebow as a runner, pass becomes third reaction mode. It's run to the running back, then it's run the quarterback. That's two reactions defense have to play on. Third reaction becomes pass. It's tremendous conflict that defenses are trying to adjust to with Tim Tebow, an established runner at the quarterback position.
And again, we should remind everyone this is not just any defense. I know it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were the stingiest defense in yards all year. They have Dick LeBeau, who's in the Hall of Fame, and we joke. I mean, it's going to be a tough trip home, especially for that defense. But Dick LeBeau, when he came in, in the late 50s with the Lions, maybe he saw the offense. Again, I'm not trying. But this is not any defense that they even confused, to your point, Trent, that, you don't see it. Yeah, but this is Pittsburgh. Yeah, but it still worked then because he's a much better passer or passed better than did 4 to 6 weeks ago. I think that's a very
That's the point, right? Boom. You have hit the point. That's the option, the ride action that you give as you fake that handoff, keeping the ball sometimes and going outside. If Tim Tebow can do this, off of that action, back up and throw the ball as well as he threw it today, you talk about putting the defense in conflict about what they want to do. You start bringing people up to the line of scrimmage. I think that's why the depth of the passes was so, it's 30, 40 yards down the football field because everybody is drawn up trying to stop that run action, and all of a sudden you find guys behind you who are very talented. He'll hit all that all the time. Over 300 yards on 10 completions. It's pretty amazing.
You know who's happy about it? Broncos.
I don't think they came into too much effect. So.
Well, as everybody predicted, the game would go to overtime, and there would be an overtime record for the longest reception in the history of overtime in the NFL, and it would obviously be Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas. There is a full moon out. You could go on and on and on. 80 yards. By the way, John Fox was the coach of the old one, Steve Smith, in 03 from Jake Delhomme. Just thought we'd throw that in there as well. And so this winning play, wait a minute, Trent, though. They get the ball, it's at the 20. We're going to run it, right? We're going to run it.
Exactly, and that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers think.
Absolutely.
And when you're in the shotgun with Tim Tebow, and he's standing back there, and there's a back next to him, this goes what Tommy and I are talking about, the conflict this offense put the defense in. First down means run. So what do? You put the ball in the belly. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Comes completely up defending the run because that's the information given to them pre-snap. Now, the other element to this is that the Steelers lose post-safety help. That means there's nobody in the middle of the field. They added that post-safety and brought him down around the line of scrimmage. This is what some people think the answer is to defending Tim Tebow. The problem with that is it becomes a pick-and-stick, 7-on-7, no-pressure passing game. I have high school quarterbacks with receivers that open that can deliver the ball. And I think that's what we need to look at here, Tommy, and I know you believe it too. It's that with this quarterback and this offense and him an established runner, he's never going to have to see the same complex looks the other NFL quarterbacks see.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason that John Elway, and I think, it kind of goes in concert with what you saw. He gave Tim a little nudge.
Yep.
And the nudge was, and I think he meant it in the best way for Tim Tebow. I need you to take shots, deliver the football, show me you can do this, because we can see maybe where there's a future of you being able to run this offense at the line of scrimmage, put these defenders close to the line of scrimmage. I mean, by the time that ball is completed, Troy Polamalu is about 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. There is no chance of anybody to catch Demaryius Thomas as he's going down the field. Everybody's in chase mode because, as Trent said, they believed wholeheartedly that they were looking at run and run formation.
And the difference, John Fox said, it was execution, because when you turn on the coach's tape, what you see every week Tim Tebow plays is wide open receivers. Wide open by NFL standards.
That's right.
Because so much attention, there's so much devoted to stopping this offense that everybody's trying to figure out with him in the gun, hand it off, read option, whatever you want to call it, that they expose themselves in the back half. And when you're exposed like that, if you can be any type of passer whatsoever, this is the potential for the passing yards out there.
Bottom line, the majority of teams on the first play in overtime don't throw a ball that could go a long way. I didn't say a touchdown necessarily.
Right.
They don't throw a route that's designed to go 25 or 30. I don't think they do. Not the first play. I don't care what kind of offense you get. Even I just don't think you do it. And that's why the Broncos are moving on. And the Steelers are surprisingly, as defending AFC champs, moving home. When we return, plenty more on this game. The Pittsburgh side for sure. More on the Denver side, moving into New England. Oh, by the way, the Giants, they may be rolling. We'll have that game, too. And first play, scrimmage, overtime. Broncos win toss. The only way you can win on one possession is to score a touchdown, which Tim Tebow and Demaryius Thomas did the longest ever in overtime in NFL history, 80 yards. Tim Tebow at the podium.
I don't know if I felt, extra pressure from it. I knew it was a big game. We had a great week of practice. We practiced hard, and I felt we had a great game plan, and we were playing, a very good Pittsburgh Steelers team. And, they came out and they played hard, and we played hard, and it was a great game. And, I'm very thankful that we were able to get the win. And, first and foremost, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's done so much in my life, and I also want to thank my teammates for the effort that they put out there and just showing so much character, whether it's good, whether it's bad, all year. And then our coaches who, every game, constantly, whether I'm doing good or bad, stick with me. And so I'm very appreciative of that.
The overtime role going into it?
Yeah, Coach Fox actually went over it with us Wednesday or Thursday, and so I'm pretty sure I knew it before then, but he went over it with the whole team as well. So it was good he did. I'm just very thankful for the platform that God has given me and the opportunity to be a quarterback for, the Denver Broncos. What a great organization. And, it is special to have the platform of playing football, because I have an opportunity to affect people. And, I was very excited to have Bailey Knob here at this game. And this is a girl, football is amazing. We love it. We're so passionate about it, as you could see right there. But, the real win, at least I would say today, is being able to comfort a girl who's gone through 73 surgeries before the game and get a chance to go hang out with her now. And that's the biggest win of the day. And so they're both exciting, but that's what I'm even more proud of.
Last play of the game, what were you thinking, what you saw, and what you thought after you saw what happened?
Well, it was a great call, first of all. It's something that we had ran earlier in the game, and to stop some of our zone read stuff, they were bringing the safeties playing like a blitz zero look, but not blitzing the backers inside. And it was a great call by Coach McCoy, and we wanted to try to get DT in there, behind the safeties blitzing, and he did a great job getting off the corner and just waited till it passed the second window from the backer and just tried to fit it in there, and he made a great catch and a great run after the catch, and offensive line blocked phenomenal. And it was also a great call because I think it was a pretty good fake, so Willis really sold it and the line sold it, so he couldn't get a lot of pressure as well, and DT made a heck of a play. Do what? When I saw him scoring, first of all, thank you, Lord, and then I was running pretty fast chasing him like I could catch up to DT, and then I just jumped in the stands. First time I've done that, but that was fun, and then just got on a knee, thank the Lord again, and try to celebrate with my teammates and the fans.
Could you talk about how you were able to get so many big plays in areas and a lot of times just one receiver out there?
Well, I think a lot of different guys stepped up and made big plays, including, DT, and, he just did a great job. I think the coaches coached him up well this week on how to attack the corners and giving them a lot of different looks with splits, with timing, with the different play actions, double moves, and he did a great job with it and just made a bunch of big plays.
How much did you have to do with this week's game plan?
I think this week for us it was just having a great week of practice and coming out here trying to execute, and the coaches always do a great job, and it was just based on us players and especially me that I just needed to play better.
What was the difference between the last 3-4 weeks when you did struggle throwing the ball and today you threw the ball beautifully? What
Yeah, I just think we executed a little bit better. We just tried to step up. We knew that, it's win or go home. And, this team wanted to fight, and we wanted to get, play another game. Just tried to, go out there and play hard, play fast, and be aggressive, and, trust my teammates and trust the line, trust the receivers, and, give them opportunities. And, they make me look a lot better than I really am.
Well, it is amazing, and it keeps going on. The shortest overtime, regular or postseason ever. That would be ever. That would be 11 seconds. And it's by the time the refs and announcers tried to explain the new overtime rule, it became a moot point because it was a touchdown. So we still don't know how it's going to really work because they got a touchdown, right? If you think about that, we still don't know how it's going to work.
I glanced at.
Well, I know we know how it's going to work, but we don't know what kind of drama you're going to have.
Well,
touchdown wins, they won.
I just know that I glanced at the tube and Boom yelled, "He's gone!" And I saw Demaryius Thomas running down the field, and I was like, "So what just happened?" And then we said, "It's over." And so, yeah, I mean, but that's what can happen when you gain confidence in the guy pulling the trigger. I can't say enough about the confidence that they had to start that overtime with that route, with that guy, Tim Tebow, throwing the football with the idea of what could happen.
You're right. We turn around Demaryius Thomas running down the field to win the game, and obviously so many storylines around Tim Tebow for the last, 13, 14 weeks. I just thought of another one that blows my mind. Who drafted Tim Tebow and Demaryius Thomas? Josh McDaniels. Josh's first game with the New England Patriots.
Oh my goodness.
Against
Tim
Tebow
goodness.
and Demaryius Thomas, the two guys that just torched the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
This thing never ends.
Who beat the New England Patriots up pretty bad.
Well, the Steelers did, and of course the Patriots. The Patriots, we'll get on to that. The Patriots, of course, just a few weeks ago beat the Denver Broncos pretty bad after trailing 9-0 after Denver ran for 167 in the first quarter, but then it was a going away process the other way for New England. Look, we can't let the defending AFC champ, the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is not a...
Oh, and in the NFL, there's this mantra, no excuses, no excuses.
I agree.
You know what? They're reasons. They are reasons team can't play to their potential, sustain that many injuries. And I think of a boxer up against the ropes, just taking body blow after body blow after body blow. He can sustain them for a little while, but ultimately the cumulative effect of those body blows will knock him down. That's injuries to good football teams. Each good guy you lose is one more rib shot, and you can only sustain so many. So it's not an excuse for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a legitimate reason. You're talking about a team that was a shell of itself in this game with their previous injuries and the injuries sustained in-game.
Kind of had some walking wounded, quite a few, and yet, they always say next man up. Well, there's a reason that the guy who's starting is starting. And I think that today the Broncos were able to take advantage of a lot of things. I also thought the Pittsburgh Steelers got a break on the backwards pass. Could have been possession to the Broncos. Instead, ended up being a score for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a lot of things balance out, and usually the right team wins the game. I thought that today the Denver Broncos played better football than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they move on in the playoffs.